Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the pimps of polarity, the duo of dynamism, the killers of keto,
Go.
the soldiers of science. I am joined by none other than the unstoppable Dr. EnQi and Professor Dr. Tanei Ricks, PhD. Gunshots in the air, gunshots in the air, gunshots in the air. What's up, chat? Hello, shout out to my co-host. How y'all feeling tonight, man?
Alive, fresh air, clean water, you know.
You not mourning the death of some white women?
Mourning the death of some white women.
Irina Zarutska?
That's extremely random. That's extremely random.
You don't know about Irina Zarutska?
Giorgio Armani? I mean, you know, Iceman 3, Giorgio Armani, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Oh man.
You ain't hear about the white lady? Got stabbed up on the subway?
okay, so we zone so now we getting closer to news. So we talking subway. This is New York, must be.
Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte has a subway?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Charlotte does not have a subway. Hold on. Charlotte does not have a subway. Let's stop that right there.
That's what they said.
Charlotte does not have a subway. That's not a real thing. I don't believe that. Charlotte has a train, maybe? Maybe they have a train. I don't believe Charlotte has a subway.
No, it's not a subway. It's just a train.
There you go. Because see, subway.
It's
Subway means underground.
Yeah.
You can't just create an underground. Like that's not you can't just pop, you know, you can build a train, a tram, a railroad, you know, all of those things you can put together in a few years. You cannot create an underground city in a couple of years.
Yeah. So yeah, she got stabbed up on the train by a black man with dreadlocks.
Well, see, that's something you got to worry about. And tonight, y'all might get, I mean, you and Tanei got to deal with, you know, ramifications of, they're not going to mistake me for dreadlocks.
Hey, I live in the city where it's a bunch of dreadheads, so we all fit the description, so I ain't worried about nothing.
Man, they might take all y'all down at once. But so what's the story with it though? Is there more of us? Isn't that crazy though? In 2025, we need more of a story because it's not too long ago where a white woman getting killed by a black man is crazy. Now it's just like a momentary. Oh, okay. So what else is going on? Like how's the Drake project coming along? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the woke riders upset. They're up in arms, and they've been.
About what? What happened to the kids that got killed? About the sitting in the bleachers, and what happened to them? What happened to that story?
Oh, that trial ain't till next week.
Okay, right, but that
I mean next year.
That quieted on down. There was a lot of noise, and that thing got quiet. So I mean,
right,
what are we talking about?
So you basically what you're saying is this gonna get quiet too?
It's gonna get quiet even quicker. How old was that lady?
20-something.
Oh, this is a young lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might be, I mean, that sounds like it's a story. I thought it was an older lady.
Nah, she about 24 or something like that.
You know, senior citizens, you know, it's like, hey, gotta go, Coolio. It's getting too hot.
Nah, it's a young, pretty blonde lady.
Okay, here we go with the adjectives. Here we go with the adjectives.
She a little hot toddy.
Yeah, you see HJ trolling immediately. Pretty blonde. Like what? Is she pretty because she's blonde? Like what?
No, she's pretty and blonde.
Okay.
She a little hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
Yeah.
How's her breast? What kind of breast? How's her breast?
She got a, you know what I mean? She got a palm full. I wouldn't say
That's
a whole.
incorrect. That's incorrect. She had. See, that's past tense. She is no longer with us.
Chad, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I ain't nothing to do with this. The Gremlins are taking over early.
Listen,
they got EnQi and HJ. I ain't got nothing to do with this.
I was up last night doing some late night trolling, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I am rather susceptible to HJ's trickery this evening. I'm in a vulnerable place right now. Tonight, I'm going to need you to step in frequently.
Okay.
If you let him
could go, go left very easily this evening.
Anyway, I dropped you a story today. We're gonna play a game later, chat. We're gonna play a game with the science fellas.
Are we
here.
already playing a game? Didn't you? Wait a minute. Did we start playing a game immediately when the show begins with dead white lady? How did you start the show off?
That's called an icebreaker. I'll teach you about media sometime when we're offline. I gotta get courses on this shit, chat. It's like I'm working with an amateur.
No, it's not like. That's absolutely what's happening. That is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, this actually is an educational course in multiple. This KeMedicine is an entendre for learning of all different types on multiple different levels.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
There's a lot of learning that takes place in the KeMedicine space.
And I'm thankful for it because I'm learning a lot. I learn a lot. Each week my brain gets a little bit bigger. Fatty, no natty is this guy's name.
Pause.
This guy's name is, I'm going to put it on the screen, chat, so we can all see this together. Fatty, no natty. And he has one of the craziest posts I've seen in a long time. He says here, when I found TRT and peptides, my wife didn't have any issue with it, but wouldn't have jumped in right away. But she was nursing our baby and wasn't a choice. But she saw my crazy progress and wanted the same results. 3 weeks ago, she took her first Reta shot. She's down to college weight already. 3 weeks. She jumped on HGH last week. She's looking like a damn model. It's far from just injections. She's also eating better, getting regular cardio, weight training, skin routine, hair, tanning, nails, updating her clothes, etc. We both look better than when we met 10 years ago, and that's with a toddler and a baby and some demanding grown-up jobs. Winning, says fatty, no natty. This is allegedly him right here. And he's got some before and after results, and these guys are addicted to this needle. So I got a couple of questions here for y'all. What the hell is a Reta shot? Is that is that the same thing that Serena Williams was giving us?
It's in that same family of GLP-1s, but I think retatrutide. Retatrutide is the one that a lot of people are using now. I think it's just a better version of Ozempic and all the other GLP-1 shots that are out right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's basically, so here's what's happening. Right? Here's what's
Slide
happening.
to your left a little bit.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right.
This nigga is
crisscross. 2 hops now, y'all.
I can't.
So,
with this thing.
so no. But here's what they're doing with this. So we're officially in the guinea pig space, right? We're in the guinea pig space. And, you know, I broke this and literally, I broke this whole research. I broke this whole research and when people were spending their time during the pandemic, you know, pimping the wave of the shots and the vax, I was going in the other direction because we had already had a super ironclad successful protocol. So I didn't feel like I needed to, you know, NRF2, antiviral kit, detox kit, website. No more questions about that moving forward. So we spent our time, we really spent a lot of time talking about harmine, harmine and GLP-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the research came from. They just haven't had a way yet to monetize the harmine. And I think the problem with the harmine is that the harmine will compete with the GLP agonist market,
Okay.
right? But the research came together. In fact, the GLP agonist is secondary to the harmine, right? So, and shout out to my guy Andrew Fox. You know what I'm saying? His mom just hit me up. She just got her papers from the doctor. She is no longer a diabetic after many, many, many years. So shout out to him. And shout out to her. But
Who was that?
my one of the people I work with, and Andrew Fox.
And you said that his wife is off the.
His mom. His
mom is no longer diabetic.
His mom is no longer diabetic. She just got her papers from the doctor. But
Wow.
one of the main things we've been using is, so on my website, I have this formula called Purple Phase.
Okay.
Purple Phase, not Purple Haze, Purple Phase. And the reason is because one of the primary ingredients is purple lilac.
Okay.
Purple lilac is the plant that they synthesize metformin from.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that, right? But we also have some herbs that are harmine, that have harmine in it. And so when I start talking about this research, people thought that I was making up, it sounded a little over the top. It sounded a little crazy because I start telling people that there's herbs that's documented to regrow beta cells in the pancreas. And so they just figured like, okay, well, he just trying to sell some herbs or whatever. And I'm like, no, I have the research from, Mount Sinai. This is $1 billion, this is $1 trillion facilities doing $1 billion research. This is going to hit the world like Nas said, hit the earth like a comet invasion. Like this is going to hit the and if y'all don't listen to me, y'all gonna wind up on the other side of this paying $1 zillion a pop to get a shot or a pill. And so the research starts with harmine, which is a tryptophan metabolite, or is created from tryptophan. Tryptophan is the aromatic amino acid that gives us serotonin, melatonin, etc. Right? So vitamin B3, NAD, all of those things come back to tryptophan. So harmine is a plant compound that helps the body to shut down a molecule called DIRK1A. Now, how I stumbled onto the research is because DIRK1A is a part of the melanin cycle, right? And so come to find out, beta cells and melanin, they work like on a seesaw with DIRK1A in the middle. And so DIRK1A, when you inhibit DIRK1A, you inhibit pigment production, but you turn on beta cell production. So anyway, Mount Sinai, they run a whole bunch of tests on this stuff. And, we spent a bunch of months, even we spent a couple of years just really going through this research as it was coming out. And the results were positive, consistent, but it wasn't really like crazy in terms of game changing because the beta cell regeneration was slow. And so they were testing other compounds to see what they could couple with harmine to get results. And what they found that boosted the results to an incredible, like to a crazy, like now we need to go to the marketplace type of level was GLP-1 agonists. They combined the GLP-1 agonist with the harmine, and beta cell regeneration goes crazy. So anyway, we have that in a natural form in our purple phase. So that's one of the things that we do in terms of fighting diabetes and obesity at the same time, right? So we killing them. We killing them in terms of results from the purple phase. But I said that whole long story just to preface the fact that they're getting ready to start going in that direction because the Reta shot is basically the next phase up from the GLP agonist, right? So the GLP-1 agonist hit the market. They had success. They got people kind of addicted. People are going crazy, you know, at unhealthy rates, you know what I'm saying, going nuts. So now they're doubling and tripling the strength and combining other things with it. And that's what the Reta is. The Reta adds like it does stuff to your liver. So the Reta starts messing with the liver and the pancreas, and it stimulates glucagon and some other stuff. So this not only is taking over production of GLP-1 agonists, which you should naturally be getting from fiber and short chain fatty acid, microbiome, and all of that. But now it's moving into the area of the pancreas and the liver. So it's almost like they're moving in the opposite direction. This is why I was saying all of the stuff about harmony. It seems like they're trying to keep that, like quiet and not bring that to the marketplace because harmony would provide people with healing and, potential for long-term life-changing results as opposed to going deeper into the GLP-1 bag where people are stuck using the drug forever. And, they're going to have to add more and more drugs, especially if people start getting a hold of this Reta shot. The Reta shot not only takes over the GLP-1 agonist system, but now it starts to take hold of the glucagon. And so glucagon is the opposite to insulin. So glucagon is what your body releases in opposition to control insulin and insulin's effects. Once you have a medicine that does that for you, you literally you have like basically almost like diabetes in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? To the point where if you're using it and you can afford it, it's almost going to be like a miracle drug with its effects. But the moment you come off it, it could get really nasty. It could get really nasty. It
How?
could get really nasty because anytime your body gets used to you doing something the synthetic way, it's almost like when you take testosterone.
Okay.
When you take
Your
testosterone, your
body.
body stops producing it. So when you start taking these things that's messing with glucagon, that's messing with not just the glucagon and the insulin, but it's also messing with the response of the pancreas and liver to glycogen depletion. So there's a lot of different systems that they're now, like it's going to be interesting to watch how this stuff this stuff unfolds 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road.
I think something too that's going to be kind of interesting, that I don't think has really been a problem yet, is when people start to get really sensitive to these drugs. So, in the same way that people can get sensitive to insulin and a chronic insulin signal, I think you're going to have some instances of people that are abusing these drugs where their bodies are going to get acclimated to them using them in high amounts. And so, your body has two ways to kind of mediate the effects of exogenous drugs and to have and because of receptor overstimulation. So it can either begin to downregulate the receptors that
Facts.
respond to the agonist, or your body will just get desensitized to it. And so essentially what happens is when the agonist binds to the receptor, if the concentrations are high for a extended period of time, your body will become less sensitive to the signal. So it won't do the messaging thing that it's supposed to do. The other thing that'll happen too is that it'll downregulate the receptors that respond to the agonist. So I think you're gonna see some people that, they start to see those really quick gains. They might think, oh, well, if I just up the dose, I'm gonna see better gains. And it's gonna go in the opposite direction. And like EnQi said, you're gonna have some issues with, when you start playing with those levers and those pulleys that are supposed to be regulating, basically your whole hunger response. You're gonna have some problems with being able to respond to the insulin signal, respond to the glucagon signal, and being able to process carbohydrates. So I think that's something that hasn't been a problem yet. That probably will be a problem in the future as people continue to do this, because you're gonna have somebody that's gonna try to just go completely off the deep end, off the top rope, with taking it more than they're supposed to, thinking that it's gonna give them a better effect,
Somebody.
and it's not gonna do what they want them to
You gonna have some bodies.
do.
You
Yeah,
gonna have millions of people doing
yeah,
that. Listen,
it's gonna be pretty crazy.
I predicted this when I seen, and I want to say this was 20 years ago. I predicted this, maybe 15 years ago. We was on the road. I was on tour, and the name of the tour was Diabesity. It was me and Abundance Child. Shout out to Abundance Child. And we go to the supermarket to get some like some supplies, because everywhere we went, she was like making food and it was a whole production we was doing. Anyway, I'll never forget, we waiting in the front to pay, and the little magazine rack, it had a magazine called Diabetes, the Lifestyle. And that was the first time for me that I had seen that. Like people was like, "Oh, you late?" Yeah, that been. I was like, "What?" That was the first time, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I was like, a diabetes lifestyle magazine, and they got attractive people on the cover, and in the magazine, the whole magazine. Because I had to grab the magazine. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." Inside the magazine, it was like making the whole diabetes lifestyle cool. It was like a rap magazine. It was like the Source magazine or Double XL magazine or Vibe magazine, but instead of selling people the idea of selling crack and going to prison being amazing, you know, they were selling people the idea that, insulin is, like it's no sweat. Like you just shooting up, like it's just a few shots. Like it was, and like the whole, I was like, yo, this is crazy. And people was like, yo, you overreacting. I was like, nah, that's because you don't have the ability to see past tomorrow. You don't know what this looks like in 5 or 10 years. You don't know what this looks like in 20 years. You don't know what this looks like for your children. I have to, because of my children, I have to try to see everything 30 years, 20, 40, 50 years. I have to see into the future so I could try to get an idea of what I could do today to fight for my babies tomorrow. That's why writing books is so important to me. You know what I'm saying? But I seen this type of thing coming. I didn't know what it would be. I didn't know what it would be, but I seen it coming. I was like, yo, they're selling people the idea that diabetes is like a lifestyle. And the magazine was 90% geared to people with type 2 diabetes. So it wasn't like, well, people with type 1, woo, woo, woo. No, 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 no. This was geared to people with type 2. And I was like, yo, this magazine, there's not a hint of healing in this magazine. There's not a hint of cure. There's not a hint of there's none of that in this book. This book is all about feeling amazing, living with, and they was promoting that phrase all through the magazine. Living with diabetes, living with diabetes. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy because now they're selling you this idea, and now the drugs is here. Live with diabetes, take these drugs, and you technically gonna be diabetes free. Technically, the way the drugs work, you're gonna be diabetes free. The triple Reta shot is gonna make you way more sensitive to insulin because it's gonna mess with your glucagon. So you're gonna be like super insulin sensitive. Like your insulin sensitivity gonna shoot up through the roof. Your appetite gonna be like this thing is amazing. But everybody has different levels of adaptability. Like I was talking about that the other day because somebody asked me in the chat. We was doing a review for midterms, right? We in midterms for our course we got going on. And somebody said, well, how do you eat? And I said, well, the way my body works, I have a highly addictive, I'm a highly addictive personality. So my body adjusts to things really fast. So I can't keep a steady diet. In order to get steady results, I have to change my diet all the time. So I have to do, maybe 1 or 2 days a week where I, go maybe high fat, high carbohydrates. Then a couple of days is more like one meal, almost very low calorie. Like I got to keep switching it up to keep my body in suspense. Everybody's body is different, but there's some people's body, like Tanei is explaining, is gonna adjust to these drugs, and the response to the drugs is gonna get super sluggish. That's on one side. Then on the other side, God forbid if they have a shortage of the drug and people can't get it, or people's finances change, the money get funny, and then you can't get your hands on that drug. It's going to be crazy. Listen, we're getting closer and closer and closer to that Will Smith movie by the day. Every day that goes by, we get just a little bit closer to
Well,
that.
I Am Legend.
Bruh, people keep forgetting that I Am Legend started with the miracle cure drug for cancer.
Yeah.
That's how the movie starts.
Yeah.
The amazing drug, and everybody's getting healing and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, the drug, because here's the thing that people
turn everybody into zombies.
Well, in the movie, right? But in real life, the science is, and this is the dangerous part that what's the guy that they used his discovery to create antibiotics? What was his name? Come on, tonight.
Wasn't
Come on,
Salk.
tonight.
Wasn't Salk, was it?
No.
Well, it was for penicillin, right? Because penicillin was the first antibiotic.
Yeah, what's his name? No, Google Demon, stop that. This is me and Tanai supposed to both know this. This is supposed to be right.
The only two names that are popping in my head are Faulkner and Salk are popping up in my head right now.
No, what the Google Demon say?
I can't tell you. Y'all supposed to know this.
All right.
Y'all supposed to know this.
Go ahead and just ask the Google Demons. What the Google Demon?
Well, I don't know what to ask it. It's got the man best known for discovering antibiotics is Sir Alexander Fleming.
Alexander Fleming. That's what I'm thinking of.
Fleming.
Alexander Fleming. Boom. I kept thinking in my mind Andrew Fox because I was thinking about his mom and so yeah, I'm celebrating. But anyway, but Andrew, but Fleming, Alexander Fleming, he had warned folks not to run away with the idea that what he discovered was a long-term fix because he understood as a scientist, right, that these are living organisms. And this is the problem that we have constantly in the science space, right? When we go from the science space, then we go to the commercial space, then we go to the public space. There is a drastic drop off of understanding at each level. And so, soon as we leave the science space and we go to the commercial space, which is made up of bankers, investors, and capitalists, there's a variety of knowledge levels where they have certain levels of understanding. Then once we leave that space and get to the public, it's a wrap. There's just a we know what you tell us, like, does this work? Oh, yes. Oh, like blind Gollum mummy, like Pinocchio kind of, just Frankenstein, like
Yeah.
mindless masses kind of thing going on. So what happens is bacteria and viruses and fungi are living.
Right.
They're thinking.
Mm.
They're
They're
living,
responding.
they're thinking, they're adjusting, they're learning, right? They're living, thinking, learning, adjusting.
Literally had this conversation with my class today. I ain't trying to cut you off, but just I literally had this conversation with my class today. Go ahead.
So they're intelligent.
Absolutely. Our world, listen, the idea that there's something else on Earth is an illusion. There's nothing more than that. This planet is single cell organisms, and that's it. That's what Earth is. This is a single cell organism planet.
How can we be
Now,
single cell if we got trillions of cells?
Sometimes they aggregate and make bigger systems.
exactly, because what happened is some single cells. So what changed Earth is pigment. This is why people got to get the books. People got to really get into these classes because pigment changed the world. No, seriously. Pigment changed the world because pigment, first things first, is what allowed algae to change the atmosphere and the water. When the algae developed pigment, that's when they started changing gas exchange. So now we get an oxygenated environment. That starts with pigment development. Then these pigment carrying single cells start to dominate. And they start to being able to absorb light and more information. More information allows them to create more complex systems.
Oh.
More information, more knowledge, more understanding, more learning. So now they get to specialize more. But even to this very day, everybody, me and you, both started off as one single fertilized cell. The sperm fertilizes one cell. That single cell replicates and replicates and replicates into all of the different cells. And each one of your cells carries the same information as all the other cells. That's what a stem cell is. It has all the information. So that stem cell can now differentiate into different types of cells. But it's just one single cell replicating over and over. And just like kinetic math, right? The single cell divides in order to multiply. It divides in order to multiply. We got a book called Trigonometry where I show the kinetic math. You divide in order to multiply. It's all binary and system. It works just like cells. It works like cells, and cells work like computers. It's the natural system, duality, right? But This planet, we forget about the fact that the things that's so small that we can't really, we underestimate their ability, but we forget that we are composed of that. We're composed of that. Our intelligence is a demonstration of the single cell intelligence. It's not that our intelligence from where we sit like trumps the same. No, our intelligence, our accomplishments are the accomplishments of single cell organisms, single cell organism communities. So, all that said to say, whenever we make adjustments, whenever we make synthetic adjustments, there is a response that we have to pay for on the flip side. There's a response that we have to pay for on the flip side because everything at the single cell level is learning. Everything is learning, everything is shifting, everything is changing. So when we start to put in now peptides is becoming a larger part of the language. We don't realize that the microbiome, right? Because the microbiome's not alone. We also have a fungiome and a virome. Right? We also have fungi and virus that lives in our body that's a part of our ecosystem inside our body. As we start to change these hormones, as we start to add in peptides, as we start to do these things and manipulate our inner environment, we can't really calculate the downstream effects. We cannot calculate the downstream effects. We're messing with the ecosystem. We're messing with the ecosystem. If the system is designed that fiber comes in and fiber activates, through, fiber runs through the microbiome creates secondary and tertiary, nutrients that then activate, L cells and D cells and all of these different cells that people don't even have in their conversations. We're changing the behavior of these cells, and the cells are going to stop producing the receptors because receptors on cells are not static. There are some receptors on cells that are static, but there are some receptors on cells that are produced as needed and then broken down. Just like molecular machinery, everything inside the cell is not like, it's not static. The cell creates enzymes and molecular machines as needed and then breaks them down and recycles them into other things. Like that's constantly going on inside your cells. Your cells, like the micro world, is way more active than what we think. And so it's just gonna be a downstream effect. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, now what Tanai is predicting is normal response. Your body, any drug you take, your body gets, your body develops a sensitivity to it over time. Now, where that is negative for the people potentially using the drug, that is awesome for the people selling the drug, right? So if you don't know what that means at home, somebody's listening, that's where you're taking a drug for illness, right? You got a disease, you got an illness, you got a condition, whatever. And doctors put you on something, it doesn't work, they put you on something else, you start getting good results. So now they found what you take and you got your prescription and you good. Take your meds and you straight. Every 6 months, every 9 months, every year or so, somewhere in that kind of rhythm, the results aren't as good. And so they need you to go up a little bit. So you might have been doing 100 milligram, but now they need you at 150 milligrams, and then 200 milligrams, and then 400 milligrams, gradually, slowly over time, right? So people go from, like, for instance, pre-diabetic, they just on metformin, but then soon they need to add a little bit of insulin. You could take by pill or something, you know what I'm saying? But then after a while you need a shot, then you need 2 shots, then you need 4 shots, and if if we're not used to paying for it with cash, right? Because we used to using Medicaid or Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever. We don't realize that as our body develops resistance and our prescription increases, the money that's generated off of us also increases.
Mm.
So the pharmaceutical company, and the investors behind, they're making a kid. That's not a where we would sit on a platform like this and go back and forth and be like, well, this is a potential problem. Your body can develop resistance over time. They will look at that same thing and they're not going to see that as a problem because they on the other side of the coin,
Mm-hmm.
right? As your body develops resistance, that just means you need to buy twice as much to maintain the results. And once people get into that space where they have to, like start to up their dose, because that's what's happening right now. In case you don't, the GLP-1 agonist is, it's impacting people. The word is spreading. People is looking different. The Reta shot is in and of itself, without like saying to people, this is a higher dose of the GLP-1 agonist. That's exactly what it is, because now you have a triple action. You have the GLP-1 agonist combined with a glucagon agonist combined with an insulin agonist. So without saying here's a stronger dosage, we're just going to give you an altogether stronger drug. So if anybody watched that documentary, they did a documentary, like not even a documentary, it's like a docu-series movie kind of thing on how the opium crisis broke out and how the people that was taking the opioid, the painkillers, you know, the doctor was just telling people like, nah, just take a higher dosage if you know what I'm saying, don't worry about it. And then they start coming out with different names of different opioids with, like stronger, like that's what we're seeing right here. When you go from the Ozempic to the Reta shot, you're getting something altogether way stronger because this is combining the GLP-1 agonist now with insulin receptor agonists and glucagon agonists. So it's now it's called a triple effect. That's what the Reta shot is, the
So
triple effect.
I got a question because the government and the grifters are talking about, oh, we have to lower the price of insulin and we need to fix the price of insulin. And
Wait, I got a question before you finish your question. Are the government and the grifters two separate parties?
yes and no.
Okay, all right, because
They
in
in
this
bed. They in the
instance, the
same
government
bed.
might be the grifters. I'm just saying, they might be the grifters.
They definitely sleeping in the same bed.
All right, go ahead, my bad.
But so I don't understand that conversation, right? Because I understand it from an economic point of view. That just sounds like a bad idea. But is there a reason why that, is there some reason that that's good, or is that bad that they're lowering the price of insulin and people shouldn't be on insulin at all?
I mean, it's an access argument. Lowering the price obviously makes it so that more people have access to it. I mean, I think that's the central crux of the argument. But to go back to, and if these companies are for profit, right? And like if a company could sell a drug for infinity dollars and get away with it, they're going to sell the drug for infinity dollars because that's going to make them more money. So the argument is to make it more accessible to more people and take the money out of the drug company's pocket and alleviate some of the costs for the customers. But drug companies not finna do that. They in business. Like they
Right.
just
Let
they're
me,
they're not trying to lower these prices because that's how they make their money. That's why people like Mark Cuban, like they don't really like dealing with Mark Cuban because he's trying to make it so that these drugs, especially the generic versions of these drugs, making them a lot more accessible, making them a lot cheaper, and having this depot where people can go and like pay for them and get these drugs for relatively cheap. They don't like stuff like that because it's cutting into their pockets. So To go
But
back kind of to some of the stuff that EnQi said. So EnQi, talked about a lot of stuff just then, and one of the things we was talking about with the Reta shot. So we were actually talking about this in class today. So this is a classic example of drug synergism. So a lot of drugs, when they're formulated, they can have a single effect on a single pathway, or you can have a formulation that does multiple things within the same system. So what he was talking about with the Reta shot is you're all working on that hunger axis, right? So you're working on all the hormones that regulate hunger and regulate nutrient product or regulate nutrient breakdown and utilization. And so there are a lot of drugs on the market that can do that, and they do that in different contexts. So one of the things that we talked about in class today, we were talking about HIV drugs. And so a lot of the older HIV drugs when they first came out, and some of the HIV drugs that work now are tandem drugs where one drug will work on reverse transcriptase and one drug will work on protease. So you have a reverse transcriptase inhibitor and a protease inhibitor in the same drug, and they're kind of working on two different sides. And that's essentially to keep the organism off balance. Because like Inky said, a lot of things, a lot of these microorganisms, they're trying to live. They're not sitting here thinking like, oh yeah, I want to give HJ herpes or something like that. Like they're not thinking that way. It's like, hey, I'm in this environment, I'm trying to figure out how to survive, right? And that's why we have this epidemic of superbugs where you have these multi-drug resistant bacteria, multi-drug resistant fungi. When you have microorganisms living in a very sterile environment, right? That's kind of like a civilian walking through like Southside Chicago. There's a lot of stuff around you that could potentially kill you, and you're more likely to encounter some of that stuff, right? So, in order to kind of insulate yourself from that, you start to pay attention to what's going on around you, and you start to develop survival strategies so that you can keep yourself safe, right? So, one of the things that microorganisms will do when they're in these hostile sterile environments, right? So for microorganisms, a hospital is a very hostile environment because there's drugs all around that are trying to kill them, right? So if you're living around, these things that are trying to kill you all the time, you develop a resistance to them because it's the only way that you can survive. And there are a lot of ways that microorganisms can develop drug resistance, 6, 7 different ways that they can do it. And they do it because they're trying to survive. They're not thinking, oh, I want to kill this person, or, I want to, have this person go through all this pain. Da, da, da. I was like, hey, I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to multiply. I'm trying to replicate. That's it. And living around these drugs and living around these things that are trying to kill them, they develop a resistance to it. So one of the really interesting things, like today in class, I talked about triclosan. A lot of people don't know what triclosan. Okay, so you don't know what triclosan is either. So you can go to the demons and pull up triclosan. So triclosan used to be an ingredient in antibacterial hand soap. So this was probably like 10, 15 years ago, might actually be like earlier than that. So
antimicrobial
triclosan, go ahead.
antimicrobial agent used to prevent or slow the growth of bacteria, fungi, mildew.
So this used to be put in all antibacterial hand soap, right?
Right.
So what ended up happening was, so you wash your hands with, soap that's got triclosan in it, and this would go into the drains. And so remember, there's bacteria and fungi that are living inside of the pipes.
Right.
So when you wash this stuff into the drains, you're kind of building up, you're forcing them to build a resistance because now you have a drug that's going into their native space and it's trying to kill them. But what is happening is when you wash with it, it's diluting the concentration. So when you dilute the concentration, you get constant low dose of something that's trying to kill you. So it's almost like going to the gym, right? So like you do 10 reps or something, or you do 8 reps or something one day, you come back the next week, you're able to do, 9. Next week you come back, you're able to do 10. Next week you come back, you're able to do 15. You're essentially teaching the microorganisms how to deal with the drug.
So
So
they
if you
build up
have
a
something that's supposed to be
resistance.
killing them and you teach them how to deal with it, it's not going to kill them anymore. So what triclosan did was it created all of these different super bugs because triclosan was kind of indiscriminate in how it killed microorganisms. So you had a lot of different bacteria that became multi-drug resistant. And that's part of the problem that we have now in flushing, medications and stuff down the drain, flushing down the toilet, putting them in sinks and stuff like that. So they actually took triclosan out of antibacterial soap very quietly without telling people the reason why they did it. And they did it because it contributed to the multi-drug resistance epidemic that we have with a lot of bacteria and fungi now.
Multi-drug what?
Multi-drug resistance. So multi-drug resistance is essentially how microorganisms deal with drugs that are supposed to kill them. So there's a couple different mechanisms that they can do. The two main things that you'll see a lot is they'll have these things called MDR transporters. And so this just stands for multi-drug resistant transporter. So essentially what will happen is the microorganism will be in its surroundings, the drug gets introduced, the microorganism takes the drug in, realizes that it's something that's trying to kill it, and then it'll spit it back out. So it'll have a pump essentially that it'll come into the cell recognizes what it is, and then it pumps it right back out so that it doesn't have an opportunity to start interfering with its metabolism. Then you have another class or another way of doing it where the microorganisms will just make enzymes that break the drug
down.
down.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened with penicillin and bacteria. So eventually, bacteria made these enzymes called beta lactamases because penicillin is a beta lactam drug. So it pops the ring open that interferes with bacterial cell wall development, and it disables it from being able to stop it from making a cell wall, and it continues to proliferate.
Wait, hold on. HJ, let me tell you how crazy it. Let me tell you how even crazier this can get. The microorganisms can communicate with each other. They can help each other build immunity to these things. Like,
Yeah, especially when stuff dies in the background. So all right, so imagine you walking through the hood, one of your homies dead, but that gun still got bullets in it. You can go pick the gun up and keep using the gun because it still got bullets in it, right? Well, that's what's gonna happen with these resistance genes. If you have one bacteria that dies or one microorganism that dies that has resistance genes, they can conjugate together and those genes can get passed to another bacteria or another fungus, and now that microorganism has the same resistance gene.
now stop right there. That may not hit for the audience as much as y'all need it. It's like as much as it'll hit for me and Tanai, because we understand the replication rate. So where humans, it take you almost a year to have a baby. These microorganisms, they might replicate millions, thousands or millions in a day.
24 hours, you get a whole new colony.
Yeah, so where you thinking like so where it's like a whole generation has to be exposed to something, or two, three generations before they develop responses, immunity, and innate responses. They're gonna go through two, three generations in an hour. Like that, they go through generations of multiplying in a few minutes. Like that's where it takes us a couple of decades to replicate through multiple generations. It takes them, less than an hour. They don't went through generations and generations. So that's where that's where arrogance it comes dangerous, because from our perspective, these little microscopic, we don't really give the credence and the respect to the small community as we supposed to. That's why one of the beautiful things in Kemet was the concept of the underworld. In the underworld was where we would find all these forces and microscopic, serpents and demons and things like that played a role in the big world. You know what I'm saying? But they was very much in tune with the idea that small things and invisible things, controlled our world. And we needed to have respect and reverence almost like on a godly kind of level. Not to say that we in any shape, form, of fashion kind of equated these things with the level of God or creator, but you needed to have a healthy respect and reverence for these little tiny things because they can create a population or eliminate a whole population, just like that. You know what I'm saying? And so we've created a healthy ecosystem. This is why, you know, it takes me a lot of time sometimes to talk to people about stuff I got going on because when I first start telling people that there's no such thing as detox herbs, like that's a scam. And they're like, well, you sell a detox kit. So how you saying that detox herbs is a scam if you selling them? I'm like, yeah, but I'm just using the language that people are used to. But once we dig into the information, we're going to start talking about NRF2 system. We're going to start talking about biofilms. And once you get into the fake protein coats, and once we get into that space, then you'll get an understanding of all the stuff that's going on inside your body. Biofilms are like invisible cities that bacteria create for bacteria, but not just bacteria living there. Fungi, viruses and all kinds of stuff lives in there. You know what I'm saying? So we have a large amount of viruses and fungi. Candida is a part of the fungi community. Like people have issues with candida all the time, but they don't realize this is a fungi community. So, like it's just candida's a really big, diverse community. Candida has a yeast like it functions in both spaces, yeast and fungi. You know what I'm saying? So we have to address these things, and these are the things that's in the background that are setting the stage for our health. These little tiny things that live inside our body impact everything: organ function, tissue function, hydration, obesity, sugar, this, that. Everything that we do is affected by these guys. And on the flip side, everything we do affects their communities. Everything we do affects their communities. So I'm just saying, as we start to mess with hormones and peptides wholesale, like as this becomes popular with people in the street are now, because that's how painkillers got on the street. Painkillers got on the street because that's just the nature of the beast. Once people want it, they're gonna find a way to get it without having to go through official means. So what's really going on is this thing is moving, like the weight loss and the muscle building drugs are moving from just the gym community now to pop culture. And so pop culture is gonna have, like access to getting all these different drugs, and it's going to get crazy.
It feels like everybody turning into drug addicts because
Bro,
everybody's sticking their ass with the needles and whatnot.
no, no, no,
I mean,
no.
we
But
got a nation of drug addicts anyway. Like, how many
I
people
was
drink
about to say
caffeine a
that that been
day?
happened.
Like, how
Listen,
many people drink caffeine a day?
listen,
Like,
that been happened. That been but not even that. Like I have to
so
mention
this is the other
Listen,
side of the argument, right?
wait,
And
wait,
this
wait,
is what
wait,
I
wait.
kind of have to tell my class is that, like, drugs are not good or bad. They are.
They
They do
exist.
a thing.
Tools.
That's it. They are tools
Tools. That's a
for
fact.
whatever you want them to be, whatever they're supposed to be doing. They're not good or bad. They do a thing for whatever system that they're in.
Listen, I have to mention Pinocchio. I have to mention Pinocchio, and I have to mention the fact that Pinocchio is a name derived from the kind. So when you create story, especially famous stories have sticking power because of all of the concepts that's rolled into it. So Pinocchio, the name, is about the pineal gland. Pinocchio is about the pineal gland. Pino, which is the first part of the name, that's pine tree. Occhio means eye. like ocular, right? Ocular eye. That's where the Okio comes from. So Pinocchio is about the pine eye, right? So we have to understand that even outside of, like people taking drugs, injecting drugs, or taking pills, the human being runs on drugs. This is another reason why we have to start to get deeper into the understanding of the neuromelanin tract. The neuromelanin tract or dopaminergic tract is the addiction pathway. It's the reward pathway. It's the target of weed. It's the target of cocaine. It's the target of heroin. It's the target of sugar, right? It's the target of sugar. And there are reports out there that sugar is 6, 7, 8 times as addictive as cocaine because of its effect on this area of the brain. So our brain can be stimulated to produce drugs a wide variety of ways. So this is where social media comes into play. This is where social media comes into play. You can stimulate dopamine release just like cocaine from likes and views and clicks. This is why people are getting killed on a live stream. This is why people are doing this is why people are doing all these things. This is so the drug culture is insane right now because the drug culture extends so much further than drugs. If we think about the drugs in and of themselves, we lose sight of the big picture. The drugs stimulate neurochemistry, but the neurochemistry already exists. The receptors in your brain already exist. The drugs just come in a concentrate that can overproduce something, overstimulate something, or create some resistance so you get less production or less stimulation. But the system of drugs already exists in our brain. That's why we produce our own internal cannabinoids and endorphins and alkaloids and all these different things already.
I got I,
We're designed for that.
I got a question here from the audience. Shout out to Marriage View. Thank you for the 6 gifted. Sammy. Now I'm gonna answer this question and y'all tell me, if I'm right or not, because I'm the student here. I'm in special ed. I got 2 teachers. He says, are these GLP drugs causes these bacteria to evolve? I'm a bit lost. The answer is no, Sammy. No. The answer is no. See, what happens is the GLP drugs start playing with the receptors, but specifically on the L cells. Okay, and once you come off of these drugs, what happens
Now
is
you want to stop him tonight, or what are we doing?
what's the
I'm
cells
just waiting
called?
to see if you jumping in tonight or you trying to like.
Wait, what's the it's the L cells, right?
It depends on what you mean by causing evolution, because directly just from taking the shot, probably not, but there are probably signaling pathways that you're messing with that will cause evolution, like cause I call it microevolution, because you have evolution on a very small scale and on a very small time scale, that something is changing and something is changing in response to what is happening in the environment. And so since you're chemically and synthetically changing the environment, then the things that are in the environment will adapt. So just by you taking the shot, no, the contents of the shot are not changing or making the bacteria or the microorganisms evolve, but the downstream changes that change the environment are what's causing the microevolution.
And I would add to that. I would add to that. Um, Even before you get to having the drug in your body, I would add that the changes have already begun, which is the reason why you need to get the drug in the first place. So remember, when we zone back, because I know we went a little crazy. We done people need to send us some money. We done went into a master class. This we done went far outside the boundary of GLP. So zoning back into the GLP-1, right? So Your body's designed, again, your body's designed to have fiber. Fiber is the main thing you're supposed to have. The way nature create photosynthesis builds fiber into the carbohydrate, which is supposed to be the main source of energy. So you don't have carbohydrates, you don't have sugar without fiber, right? You're supposed to have fiber. But the problem is the fitness, health, TRT, Ozempic universe is based around two basic diet plans, which is really just one basic diet plan. It's animal meat. And that goes back to the origin of America, right? The whole idea, the concept is so on my channel the other day, we were talking about investors, right? In terms of when you initially start investing, you just want to make some money. But once you get to be, wealthy and you into the hundreds of millions or even into the billions, you invest to protect your main investments. And so the old money in America surrounds farms and oil. And farming and oil have locked arms a long time ago in a way that now is inseparable. It's one massive conglomerate. So the oil business is pharmaceutical business. The farms have now become these arms that are promoting, you know, carnivore diet, paleo diet, and then the other side of the arm is promoting keto, right? Both sides of the fitness fence is saying stay away from carbohydrates. When you go into keto space or you go into carnivore or raw meat or paleo, whatever, you go into one of these spaces, there's no fiber in the diet. There's no fiber in the diet. Even if you try to sprinkle a little bit of greens with your 15 chicken breast or whatever it is you're doing, that's not enough fiber for your body. That's not enough meaningful fiber. That's only just enough fiber. That's only just enough greens for you to convince yourself, like placebo effect, that you actually had some vegetables. That's nothing. That's nothing.
They are against plants.
Period. So there's
They
no
make fun of
fiber.
it. They make fun of it. I'll be like, yo,
Facts.
you don't eat nothing.
Facts. So there's no fiber in this space. Even this one guy, his name is Vegan Gains. He used to argue up and down with all of the meat people and the
Oh
people
wait,
on
I
the
think I
steroids
know
and all
him. He
that.
on Instagram.
He's somewhere in social media universe, but he switched up now. Now he's still Vegan Gains, but he's on steroids. So they done took him over. You know what I'm saying? But so this is what I'm trying to say to Sammy, I believe, with the question. The changes have already started on the microbiome and beyond because we've already removed fiber, which is the number one form of sustenance for the micro network that lives in our body. It's not just microbiome or bacteria, it's everything within the space. The fungi, the yeast, the viral agents, all of those things find happy ways to leave our cells alone because we feeding them. You know what I'm saying? That's just to simplify it. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a neighborhood where everybody is making enough money to feed their babies and keep the lights on, guess what? It's low crime in that neighborhood. If you're in a neighborhood where everybody they lights shutting off, woo woo, it's gonna be a lot of crime in that neighborhood because people trying to rob, not Peter to pay Paul. They ran out of Peter and Pan. Peter and Paul's at the front door. So now they running through the backyard to see what they can snatch out your car or out your, whatever, to go back to their door and take care of Peter and Paul. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of environment we're making in our body where we're having a hyper vigilant microorganism community because we're starving them. So we're already changing their environment, forcing them to adopt new types of behavior because we're creating these new types of diets that don't include the things that don't include anything for them. So now they have to find ways to rob the system. They have to find ways to embed themselves near fat or near certain places. And, you start to change the dynamic inside your body because some of these microorganisms, for instance, they produce alcohol because they don't like water. They're hydrophobic, they like hydrophobic organisms. So they don't like water, right? So they produce a lot of alcohol to keep their space dry, right? Well, when you start changing the inner dynamics, you know what I'm saying, where you don't drink water anymore because all your water got hydration powders and other stuff mixed into it, and you don't eat plants, you know what I'm saying, because you're trying to get a six pack following Brandon whatever or Chris Bumstead or you know you're changing how everything in your body works. So sometimes it's not a matter of is the GLP drug going to change your microorganisms? You've already changed your microorganisms, which is the reason why you need the GLP drug. Because the fiber is what was stimulating the GLP receptors. But because you remove the fiber, now you need a synthetic drug to come in and do what the natural fiber microorganism network was doing for you. So it's really not a matter of thinking like, what are the side effects of the drug? You've already created synthetic microenvironments that you're living in that we're now trying to buffer with synthetic solutions because we are living in a synthetic type of, you know what I'm saying? So there's a
Strong
lot.
Dad said vegan gains is on steroids because vegan gains are a myth. Damn. Insane. Y'all ready to play a game?
Let's play a game.
I want to play a game.
Y'all was watching some movie last night. Oh, Escape Room. Did y'all see the movie Escape
I haven't
Room?
seen that yet.
Oh
I'm
man.
not sure if I've seen the movie, but I have been in some escape rooms. I have done that a couple times.
Escape rooms are fun. I did one in Austin. It's pretty fun.
I did
Yeah,
one.
I've done that a couple times.
I did one. I went. We got out.
Before we get to this game, there was something I wanted to mention about the microbiome space, and then we can go on to the game. So we talked about how these outside things will influence your microbiome, and so kind of want to take that a step further and talk about GMOs because a lot of people have kind of not, people don't talk about GMOs as much anymore as
They
they
can't.
used
Listen, they can't.
to. So
Listen, they can't talk about GMOs no more. If you're taking TRTs and drugs and shots and all that, you can't talk about the food no more.
So the GMOs, right? So let's go back to the analogy about, your homie get shot, pick up the gun, still got bullets in it, right? So a lot of the corn products.
You just muted.
All right, so a lot of the corn products, right, that are not organic. So they've been engineered with this DNA plasmid, essentially, which is essentially just a code. It's called the BT gene. So the BT gene it comes from this bacteria called bacteriensis, a bacterial thuringiensis.
And
It's really hard to pronounce.
that's in the grits.
And that's yes, it is in the grits. So especially if you don't get the organic ones.
That's some bullshit.
Now
I hate you, EnQi.
so if you don't get that, so if you don't get the organic ones, and even like a lot of the corn products that they don't say has been genetically modified, genetically engineered. There's still some overlap in there too because of the crop practices. So I did this experiment when I was back in undergrad. So I took a genetics course, and my teacher had us come in. So he basically told us to go get different bags of Lay's type potato chips. So you get like the regular Lay's, like barbecue, Funyuns, whatever. Anything that fit up under the Frito Lay umbrella, right? And so this was back before they had to like label this stuff. So we did PCR testing, and we were looking for specific genes that were encoded
Wait.
to
You did
the
PCR testing on the chips?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we
Okay,
did
that's
PCR testing
crazy.
on it, and we were looking for specific genes, and one of the genes that we were looking for was a gene that encodes for BT. Every single bag of potato chips tested positive for the BT gene, and it was not labeled on the bag. So the way that BT gene works is, so you have
Crazy.
insects that will, eat or be or live in the soil, or eat something that comes and has like soil on it, and these bacteria live in, they're soil borne. So they have this toxin, it's a protein, and it's like a triangle. And so when the protein forms, it goes into the gut of the insect, and it starts to punch holes in the gut of the insect. And so that kills the insect by making it leak its gut contents out, so you can't absorb anything, you eventually die. So when you have GMOs that are encoding for this specific toxin, when it gets into your digestive tract, the bacteria that are in your digestive tract can now pick up those traits, and it'll jump over into
Facts.
your microbiome. So now you kind of start to see why you have this large incidence of leaky gut syndrome coming in at the same time with the GMOs, because now you got your microbiome starting to produce these same proteins.
That's a fact. And that's where you know what? I'm gonna have to do a whole day. I'm gonna make a mental note to myself. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna have to do a whole day on inflammation driven fat. Inflammation driven fat. Inflammation driven. Your body can actually gain weight just from inflammation alone. Like without the without your dietary elements included, cortisol, estrogen, and some of these things can cause you to begin gaining weight by itself. Obviously, food is going to come in, but just having different neurotransmitter and hormone patterns can cause you to start gaining weight all by itself. So you start playing around with synthetic control of these things. Listen, hopefully everybody is rich. That there's a backdrop of American culture where like Jay-Z said, shit was all good just a week ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as the money is right, as long as the money is right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we got going on in our lives that, hey, as long as you can stay on that treadmill, as long as you can stay in that rat race, as long as you can, and this is how people, their lifestyle grows and grows and grows, and you go from needing $1,500 a month to substantiate your lifestyle to 5,000 a month, to 10,000 a month, to 20,000 a month. And this is where people be like, oh, well, this person is broke. We watching TV. Oh, this artist or this business. Oh, this man, he went broke. This guy went bankrupt. Oh, don't worry about him. He's bankrupt on a millionaire level. Like, nobody really digs into what that means to be broke on another level, because everybody creates these lifestyles, and the lifestyle requires X amount of dollars just to cover, your basis. And if you're just covering your basis, that's considered broke. So you could be broke, making 20K a year. You could be broke making 50K a year. You could be broke making 5 million a year. You could be broke like MC Hammer making 30 million a year. You know what I'm saying? It's just what your payouts and what your outlay.
Debt to
It's
income ratio.
So when people have these medication bills, when people are spending 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month, when people are spending more money on designer drugs than their mortgage, when people paying more money for shots than they more, because some of the bodybuilders, they might spend 5,000 a week. They might spend 5,000 a week. They might spend easy 3 to 5,000 a week to maintain those bodies. This is why they have to get the sponsorships and all that. And if you notice, if you notice the bodybuilders, right? These be like big famous bodybuilders, but when they show a full day of eating of Zach Strongman, or like full IFBB Pro Robert Steel bicep, whatever. You look and you see the crib, and in your mind, you looking at these people like superheroes, but everything be super like basic. They be in like a 1-bedroom apartment with, like a little scrawny lady trying to put their white rice and chicken breasts in a little aluminum foil joint. Like, you be looking like, what is happening? What's happening is they're dedicating all their, they're dedicated to their body. So all their money that another person will put on getting a bigger house or getting a nicer car or getting a nicer outfit or buying some jewelry or purses or whatever, that normal, Xbox or books or whatever it is that we choose to, invest our time and money into, they're putting their money into drugs. Them drugs expensive. Them drugs expensive because they have to combinate the things up. It's not just a matter of, oh, he on testosterone. That's not how it goes. They're
Nah, he
on
got to
all
take.
kinds of drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen a breakdown. This dude did a breakdown. He's like, "Oh, I got to take 5 milligrams of this and 10 milligrams of that." And then I'm like, "Nigga, you done took 8 shots in your ass today."
And all of them joints is starting out, the little jars, starting out $500. And the peptide market is crazy. The peptide market is crazy. The peptide market is a Drake chorus, is a Drake hook. 10 bands, 20 bands, 100 band, man. Let's just not even discuss it, man. OMG. Listen, the peptide market is crazy. So,
So
so wait. So going back to your initial post that you started this whole crazy conversation off with. Remember, homeboy says, whatever his name is, Fanny Pack or whatever his name is, he said, my wife seen me with the hormones and the peptides.
right,
So now that's becoming a thing that's going together
you
now.
got to you got to take both. Yeah,
So you looking at spending maybe 1,000 a month on 2-3 different hormone joints. And then you might spend another 3 to 5 on peptide selection. And then if you get it to where, because remember, once you get on it, you got to stay on it to keep your results, because the drugs is what's changing your body. Once you stop taking the drug, your body go back to how it looked before you took the drugs.
right.
So, but now what happens when you start getting it into the household now? Because now your wife want to go on the program. So now you done went from 3,000 a month for your packages to now
You got
she
another
need
2,000.
y'all at 6,000 a month for shots. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, as long as the money is there, you know what I'm saying?
So that's why these dudes is always out here trying. They spend all day pushing courses and selling. I'm just like, yo, they do a lot of selling. They gotta pay for them ass shots.
Keep chasing that rock, dog. Like, hey, there's a lot of crackheads do something strange for
Listen,
change. We just
that's
don't
what
think about
happened
it
to,
like that.
yeah. That's how the street drug business collapsed. The street drug business collapsed from snitches. You know what I'm saying? But snitches only came into the game after a lot of people start becoming addicts. So as you start to get addicts, people getting high off the drug, then it starts reversing where people start using the drug and then start selling the drugs just to keep up with their supply. Now you have the revolving door where you can buy somebody's loyalty for $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, maybe $100, $200, you know, and then you look on the internet and you see everybody hollering about paperwork. Oh, I'm not a snitch. You ain't got no paperwork on me. I'm not a snitch. You show me the paperwork that shows I'm a snitch. That right there is how you know where the snitches are. Usually, the people that's saying that you ain't got no paperwork on me, those are the people usually that are
What's
snitching
the name of that
because
bacteria? Young Thug? Is that a Young Thug bacteria you talking about
nah, nah,
there?
nah, nah, nah.
Hey,
Leave
this is
Young
bigger than
Thug.
Nino Brown.
Nah, nah, nah. Leave Young Thug alone. Young Thug is good people. But this is what I'm saying. If paperwork told people who snitches were, the cops and the feds wouldn't be able to create CIs. They wouldn't be able to have confidential informants. Like so I'm just saying in terms of society, society is brainwashed. Society is brainwashed. Society is Pinocchio. Society is golems. We're living in the world of goy. Ask your Jewish friends about the goy. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
means nation. It means people of a nation.
yeah, all right.
The greatest
Dig,
ally.
dig into them protocols and see what it say in them
The
protocols.
protocols are fake news, sir. The
Yeah,
protocols
all
are fake
right.
news.
Yeah, all
Okay.
right. That's why we got all these. Ask the young folk then. Ask the young folks then what NPCs is, because that's what we dealing.
Oh.
The NPCs. We live in a world of NPCs out here.
Non-player character. It's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
video game language. Yeah.
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 That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Frankenstein's people, active bodies with no brains. That's what we dealing with out here. You know
HJ
what I'm
core
saying?
temperature just went up when all that juice started going.
I don't know what y'all niggas talking about. It's trying to change the subject now.
Listen, that's the
This
world
will
we
be the
in,
last
man.
episode of KeMedicine fucking with y'all niggas. Hey, what happened to that show? Oh, I just didn't have time to do it anymore. I just
Unnecessary roughness.
The chat shutting it down right now.
Goya means nation of people, and Goy means member of that nation. That's what it means, okay? That's what it means in Hebrew. Ask Jabari what it means. All right.
Nice. That was a nice parry right there. Throw Jabari to the wolves.
True or false? You guys ready? Put your hand on the buzzer.
All right.
Half you people out there you stop watching this stream to go open up some new tabs. I'm gonna need y'all to not do that, okay?
True.
Pay attention.
Oh, wait. So that wasn't a question?
That was
Oh, I thought that was question number one. Okay, yeah.
Oh man.
ladies, take your hand off the rose. Fellas, close them tabs, all right? Pay attention. Number 1. Long-term nutritional success is built on a sustainable plan and not a diet.
True.
True.
Do you want to expand on it?
I'll go quick and then you can add because I'll be quick on this one. I think the first thing to think of with sustainable plan, from all my experience, I'm gonna have to double back to the money. Make sure what you're doing is something you could afford to do every single day for everybody in your household. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's something you can afford to do. Like people get Fijis and they drink a Fiji water like one time or two times, or they go get a Coke. I had me one of them raw coconut waters. Okay, well that's not how your body changes based on what you do consistently over long periods of time. So yeah.
You also have to build around like your lifestyle. So it's not just the money, but it's also like the things you do in a day, especially things that you have to do in a day to get money. So, and also knowing like what works best for you. If you're a morning person, it's probably better for you to go to the gym and do like your meal prep in the morning. If you're an afternoon person, it's probably better for you to do it after work. If you have a lot of time on the weekends, you don't have a lot of time during the week, it's probably wise for you to get a lot of your stuff that you need to have during the week on the weekends, so you can make a lot of stuff and then you just have it prepped. But at the end of the day, it's really about preparation and just a plan that you can stick to, and something that works for you. Because what works for me may not work for EnQi. What works for EnQi may not work for HJ. So like it's tailored to your lifestyle, and you don't have. And because somebody else is doing something that works for them, you may not be able to one for one transplant it over into your life and have it work. So you got to just tailor it to you and like the things that you like to do, make it enjoyable, make it a game. A lot of people go with the gamification of things because it kind of goes into your reward center too. So make it something that's going to be enjoyable for you. And the more enjoyable it is, the more you'll be able to sustain it.
Number two, you would feel 10 times better by simply committing to whole foods for 1 week.
True.
Why'd you take a second to think about that?
Because it depends on what you mean by feel better. Right?
Word. I was like, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop myself. I was like, come on, HJ, what are you doing? In my mind, I'm like,
I mean, because there's a lot of people that feel good doing crack every day. So I mean, crack's not a whole food. So like, it just depends. Like what are we talking about feelings?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can feel good smoking weed every day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
He's the one we call Dr. Feel Good.
Number 3, what you're eating is making you stressed. Because you're stressed, you eat. Break the cycle.
True.
Wait, what you're eating is making you stressed because
what you're eating is making you stressed, and because you're stressed, you eat.
I would agree and disagree. I would agree and disagree because I would say that those two things are actual facts, but they're not always dependent on one another. What you eat can definitely make you stressed. You can definitely eat because you're stressed.
What can you eat to make you stressed?
Anything that makes you depressed, like if a person is trying to lose weight and they wind up overeating, that's going to add on top of the physical ramifications of increasing, their body weight. That's going to
I thought like a
anxiety.
donut. I thought a donut would just literally make you stressed, like increase cortisol levels or something like that.
No, donuts make people happy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why people can sit down and eat a whole man. What you thought Krispy Kreme? Krispy Kreme was like a heroin dealer. Like what?
Yo, Krispy Kreme, man.
Look at your face. Look at your face. The idea of Krispy Kreme just made you feel good. What you?
I could taste it now. When they got the light on outside the stove.
So 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 it's the after effects. What happens when
Hold on now. Wait. We need a moment of silence for Krispy Kreme. Oh man, this nigga brought up Krispy Kreme. That's what I need right now. Lord, chat. Krispy Kreme.
I don't know why I said that.
That shit's better than cocaine.
See, but that's my point right there. That's my point right there. So it's the after effect though, because if you're pretty active, right? If you're pretty active and your diet is pretty clean, a Krispy Kreme donut's not going to kill you. Especially if you take it to the gym with you and have it with a coconut water in the middle of your workout.
Hey, tonight they had Rice Krispie treats on sale at the front desk at my gym. $1. I used some of the points I got.
Crazy.
I got points.
I
used some of my points.
You should have slapped whoever was behind that desk. You should have just slapped them.
I thought it Tanei.
Next level meta play. Run that.
Because they promoting drug addicts. See, the thing is,
I
No,
thought
they
they knew
promote
what I
gain.
thought they knew what Tanai knew. I was
They
like, they
promote
must know what
gain.
Tanai
They
knew.
do know what Tanai knows, but they know everything. So they know that initially this is going to work to help you boost your workout. And they know that as you continue to do it, you're going to start getting
You're gonna
one
get
Rice
relapse.
Krispie treat going to turn into two. And then pretty soon, you're going to be finishing up your workout, doubling back to the desk. Like, yo, let me get two of them things to go on and head out to the car. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to sit in traffic with a
Yeah,
couple of
you gotta re-up that glycogen. Yes, sir. Run that. Like you said that wrong
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
No.
See, this is where the dopamine and the neuromelanin come into play because the addiction it's a monster. It's a monster. You know what I'm saying? So I was being facetious, but you know, within reason, it's cool, but nobody works within reason.
Yeah, it's not within reason. Yeah, it's always overboard.
Yeah, and when you go to Krispy Kreme, they not even like an old school bakery where you could go get a donut. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get 6 donuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
gotta get
get
the-
12
You gotta at
donuts.
least get half a clip. Yep.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta get a
And
whole
you all
box.
by yourself. Like, what are you doing in the car sitting with 6 delicious hot donuts? Like, what can you like? Come on now. That's like,
You're recording TikTok content.
man, that's literally like Satan is sitting right there in the seat, just on you. Satan just like, come on now. You know that was delicious. And
I'm
you reasoning with Satan, like, yeah, you know what? You right. And then you start coming up with, and Satan start working with you, and Satan start working out a whole blueprint how you could just knock off that whole, because you know what? I'm gonna probably come back to the gym early in the morning. So it ain't I'm gonna just burn this off. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stay up late tonight and get some work in anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is how I'm gonna finish up my paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat these right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and skip dinner. I ain't even gonna eat dinner. Meanwhile, as soon as you get back to the house, the dinner at home is smelling crazy. Because now you done had that whole Krispy Kreme explosion. By the time you get back to the house, that's crashing. That's crashing. So now the mitochondria inside your neurons all throughout that reward track, they in there like, and you like, babe, what's that? What you cooking in there?
Mad Dog said, I be saying I walk 15,000 steps, so I deserve it.
That's the devil, Mad Dog. Listen, that's the devil in your mind convincing you. And in fact, not only is that the devil, but that's melanin concentrating hormone working with the devil. Because that melanin concentrating hormone is amplifying the hunger signal. And the smells coming in through the olfactory system is going to the neurons, producing more melanin concentrating hormone. The melanin concentrating hormone is making you more sensitive to the smells coming in. So they got the deliciousness loop. The lusting for deliciousness loop in your brain. And before you know it, you done turned on the music and that 6 donuts it was 3 donuts, then it was 2 donuts, and then it was like, man, I might as well go ahead and knock these donuts. What am I doing playing with these? Man, let me go ahead and knock these off. And it's gone, 6 donuts. And you don't even realize them donuts is an average of 350, 400 calories. You could eat 6 of them donuts and in one setting have 2,000, 3,000 calories with no problem.
I bought what's it called? Cinnabons from the Cinnabon place in the mall.
Bombs, man. Calorie fucking bombs.
Listen, I bought a dozen.
Thank God I never
brought them home.
Children love them joint.
Brought them home. I laid down for an hour. No, I didn't have none yet. I woke up.
They was gone. Them Cinnabons ain't no joke, bro. The smell, that's why the Cinnabons, if you notice, Cinnabons is a business that's gotten really big and popular inside of
shopping malls.
Yeah, but what they call that? The food court. The food court is where the Cinnabons rule because There's no smell, not even the Chinese restaurant. The Chinese restaurant, if you notice, next time you go to one of these malls, remember this and see if it play out. The Chinese people, they normally have the best smelling stuff because they got all of the sugars mixed together with the MSG and all that with the general. So what they do, because the cinnamon buns beats them out every time, they come and bring the chicken and stand close as possible to Cinnabons to give away the samples. That's how they get you. They come right next to Cinnabons with the free chicken samples.
Cinnabons, the Cinnabons is right across from the Chinese people in the mall.
That's how they listen, because Cinnabons is the kings of aromaticity.
Yeah.
Period.
You walk past there and you just be like, hold on, babe, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Okay.
Yeah. And it's because of the cinnamon. The cinnamon is the central feature because cinnamon is good for you. Your body wants you to have cinnamon. Your body wants you to have cinnamon. Cinnamon is amazing for you. Cinnamon helps you to process carbohydrates and fatty acids and everything. Cinnamon is amazing.
Regulates your blood sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, fiber source.
Yeah. Cinnamon is amazing. But that cinnamon is smothered in the middle of frosty, madness.
Glizzy, the pure glizzy.
Madness. So yeah, that's how they.
The only place more insidious than Cinnabon is Auntie Anne.
I was just about to say.
Only two places that like you walk through a shopping mall, instantly like one of them is lurking around the corner.
Or both corners. They got them on both ends.
They get you coming there and going.
Yeah, listen, I'm pretty sure at this point my lady only goes to the mall because she knows it's an excuse to stop at Auntie Anne's or Cinnabons. She thinks she's slick. She thinks she's slick. Like the other day, we went to the mall and brought the baby. The baby like, I'm hungry. She's like, don't worry, we'll stop and get it. Matter of fact, the baby, we got in the thing, the baby said, Mommy, pretzel. I said, oh, Lord. The baby even know the pretzels is in the mall. Yeah. So I know they got a habit going on where they go to the mall and pretzel just come with the...
That's a mean combination too. And it's such an opposite taste, but people don't realize it's just as effective. Because the pretzel is hot bread. So that's hot sugar combined with the salt. So that's a whew.
Boy, these are sugar pretzels.
The sugar ones, yeah.
They got sugar on the pretzel with butter.
Okay, sugar on the hot bread?
Yeah.
Sugar, cinnamon sugar. Wow. Cinnamon sugar pretzels. Those are my fave. Wow.
Yeah, see, I don't even go in these places.
We gotta get you some cinnamon sticks and let you taste it.
That man just told you he had an addictive personality. He said that. He prefaced everything with that. I still got addictions. Yeah, I still got addictions. I'm wrestling with. I gotta maintain my Oreo situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never got. You know what I'm saying? I got, those Keebler Elf cookies with the chocolate on the back and the fudge stripes on the... Oh my goodness!
I'm about to mail you a pack of pretzels tomorrow.
That's nasty.
That's definitely nasty work right there. That's crazy. That is nasty work right there. That's super diabolical. Come on, man. That's crazy.
That melanin concentrated hormone hit your nose.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna call your ass up.
I'm about to put this on your doorstep. I'm about to put this on your doorstep. I'm about to tell Amazon to keep it hot. Like, deliver this hot.
Number 4.
Across state lines.
Number 4. Party said I'm going to Krispy Kreme this weekend. Fuck it.
We definitely just did a whole advertisement for the wrong thing.
Keisha said, I control.
The website. Go get y'all some purple phase from the website, AmericanHealer.website. Get you some purple phase to take along with your Krispy Kremes and your, pure foolishness.
Keisha says, I control the cookies by refusing to eat them with milk. Club soda only. Not as good, but it hits. What?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if that.
What?
Just
She
drink
tried
the
it.
milk,
She
man.
tried it.
Like, what
She
you
tried
doing?
it. I don't know. Yeah, she tried it.
Just drink the milk, man.
I get the philosophy, but that's not. That's yeah.
Just might as well enjoy them. You gonna eat the fucking cookies anyway. Just enjoy it
Right,
with the
that's-
milk.
Enjoy the whole thing, man.
She,
like, yeah,
she
well,
trying to kill guilt while being guilty.
I'm managing this. I'm holding it down. No, see, that's the Satan. That's what I tried to tell you. Because Satan started talking to you, and you don't realize you talking to Satan. Satan start to have you logically explaining to yourself why this is you good. Yeah, this is just $6. There's a whole sleeve of this ain't nothing but 25 chips. This ain't this is because see what happened was normally I would have this with. But this time, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have this with flavored water. That's what I'm gonna just have some flavored water, and that's gonna just totally nullify.
The girl math in the chat is out of control. Girl math in the chat is out of control. Number 4, a low protein breakfast and lunch is what is making you sluggish and tired in the afternoon. True or false?
I definitely want to go.
A low protein breakfast and lunch.
I'm gonna lean towards false.
Wow, we got our first false.
I definitely lean towards false. Absolutely.
I'm going to say it again. A low protein breakfast and lunch is what is making you sluggish and tired in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards false. I'm not gonna say false. I'm just gonna lean towards false.
I'll say needs more context.
Yeah, there you go. I think I'm gonna agree with that because I think that can be true, but I don't think that's always true, and it definitely depends on what else is going on with your food and all that. So, like a low protein breakfast assumes that it's a high carb or high simple carb or like it just. I think more info is needed. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have a low protein day and still have energy throughout the whole day. Like that's not you know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a matter of, did the person have are we doing Pop-Tarts and Frosty Flakes? And in fact, are we doing the 6 Krispy Kreme is that for breakfast? Because if that's the case, you're gonna be cranky by like 10:30, 11 o'clock. You're gonna be cranky if you have that whole 2,000 calories worth of sugar at crack of dawn. So if we go high processed sugar and there's no fiber and no protein, sure, we're gonna have some crashes and we're gonna get cranky unless we get high again. You know what I'm saying? Unless we go ahead and hit another blast of sugar madness, within the next 2 hours or so to keep that going. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yeah, the gremlin's gonna be on full tilt if you do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna say needs more context.
Fact.
What more context you need, Tanei?
Because the protein will help stabilize like your blood sugar levels, but were you getting blood sugar to begin with? And if you weren't getting that glucose, are you using fiber? Because fiber also regulates your blood sugar. So like it's just is context dependent.
Yeah, what you doing? What is it that you're eating? What are you eating that's like that?
Because I
To
can't
me,
imagine a world where somebody's eating, 3 kiwis, a couple of bananas, and they feel like crap for the rest of the day.
boom. And that's definitely low protein, but that is absolutely nutritious and delicious.
Okay. Number 5. Your gut needs to rest. Stop filling it up for 14 to 16 hours a day and then complaining you can't sleep. Try an 8 to 10 hour eating window, cutting it off at least 2 hours before bed.
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with the catchphrase part of it, the clickbait, but I do agree with the overall sentiment because there's a part of that that's clickbait.
The
The
gut needs to
clickbait part is
rest.
yes, that's the clickbait part. because there's no such thing as your gut resting. When your quote unquote gut is not digesting food, it's doing other things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I do understand the concept. I preach it. You need to have, a small window of feeding so that your stomach, your digestive system, your gut is free to do all of the other things that you need, for your health. Sure.
True.
Any context you want to add tonight?
Hmm.
Let's go to the next one. No matter the restaurant, their priority is to stay in business, and the result is they will always serve you cheap carbs as the largest portion of your meal.
False.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna double down on that false.
Why'd you say false?
Because you picking the stuff off the menu, you just go to a different restaurant. They don't serve what you
Drop
want.
a super Funk Master Flex bomb on that. Like
how's
like,
that a restaurant?
like what kind of restaurants is this? I was gonna say that the person needs a hug. Like you need a hug. Like, I don't know where you have spent your life dining. Where have you been eating at that you feel like you are strapped into Rice Krispie treat? Like, what restaurant are they going to where they get like, let me get some fried chicken and Rice Krispie treats. Like, let me get a burger with a side of, Krispy Kreme donuts. Like, where are they going to eat at? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, the thing is, he said no matter the restaurant.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then he said cheap carbs, and I'm like, hold on now. I know you ain't talking about macchiatos like that now.
Yeah, that's all crazy. Like, that was not a good. Even though
this is focaccia. The clips told you, nigga, this is focaccia.
See, look, that's more clickbait than content. Like the last one, like number 4, it was a little bit of clickbait on it, but the main premise, I kind of agree. This one is just too much clickbait. Even though I do, underneath the 90% of the statement that's clickbait, there's a 10% morsel of truth there. You know what I'm saying? Which is that, sure, the healthier items are the more expensive items for the business to cook, to keep, to stock, all of those things. So they're definitely going to try to buffer the meals with, like how certain places bring you out baskets of bread. And, so there's some.
But the thing is, like, restaurants don't want you eating that basket of bread because you order less food. So they just, it's really like a courtesy. So that's why I feel like what he said is false, because
I feel like what he said is false for a wide variety of reasons.
Right.
Yeah, it's a.
But as somebody
variety.
who's worked in a restaurant, like, no, they're not trying to feed you cheap carbs. They just know you like bread, nigga.
And you know what? Here's the problem.
And they know your ass is gonna sit up there, drink a bunch of alcohol, and they don't want you stumbling out drunk.
Wait, well, they might want you to have some bread and some peanuts then, but here's the problem.
And then you could buy more alcohol. Because they really trying to sell alcohol, because restaurants don't make money off of food. Restaurants might make money off of liquor. So they feeding you that bread so you could drink more liquor. So he's wilding with that one.
But no. Look, there's the problem comes in with the language also, right? Because the question sounds so ridiculous that I would have to zoom in and ask the person, what do they mean by cheap carbs? What is his perspective on cheap? Because cheap is where, like, there could be some misinterpretation in the sense of cheap, because there are restaurants that are high quality restaurants, right? They might be vegan, or they might even lean towards the fitness space. And these places are selling, they don't even have white rice. There's spots out there that don't even have white rice or French fries in there. They only have quinoa, brown rice, black rice, like black noodles. Like there's spots that actually only have expensive carbs, to come to think of it. I've been to places that only have expensive carbohydrates there. You know what I'm saying? Even the bread, if you was to get a burger, the bread look like they charging you $17 for an empty bun, because it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy. You got all kind of stuff growing off it.
Mm-hmm.
Crowded and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like so. I just again, the person needs a
Plus,
hug.
you have to define carbohydrate because like vegetables are cheap; they're carbohydrates too. So like you can like if your plate is mostly vegetables, then like is that bad? So
Mm.
you have to
That
define what you mean when you say carbohydrate.
That's a fact. That was a terrible question.
Mm. Next one up. You assume you're always hungry when really you're chronically dehydrated.
True.
Super facts. I don't even have anything to add to that. That is a super fact.
Only thing I would add to that is that like a lot of the food that people eat is dehydrated, and so your body normally wants to get hydration from eating, and so it's trying to get food to bring in water as well. But if you're eating a bunch of dehydrated food, it's just gonna make you more dehydrated.
Dehydrated
And then-
food like
and
crackers
when-
and shit like that.
Well, dehydrated food, and then add on to the dehydrated food the diuretics like caffeine.
Yeah, yeah, and alcohol.
Yeah, so it did quadruple.
Give me an example of a dehydrated food. Cheez-Its.
So like a lot of the protein sources are dehydrated because like you can't have water within that matrix. That doesn't mean that it's bad.
A burger?
It just means that it's not. It just
Of
means
course.
water that's bringing
A burger's
in.
dehydrated?
Yeah, there's no water.
It's
that's
something that
in the
costs
matrix.
think of it like this. It's something that costs your body water to digest.
Oh, because it has to hydrate it.
Yes, your body has to use water in the process of breaking it down. Whereas if you have natural carbohydrates,
It got the hydration in
Comes
there.
strapped with water.
yeah, hydration is in it. So it's a fair exchange, ain't never been robbery kind of iceberg slim thing. But when you get into fat and you get into proteins and then you get into breads and crackers and whatever else you were saying. But yeah, when you get into all of those different things, sure, they dry you out. And then on top of that, we add caffeine and other diuretics. For every ounce of caffeine you consume, you urinate out 1.5 ounces of water. So, we live in a space of dehydration. You know what I'm saying? Which is the reason why we have so many hydration, powders and fixes and all of these different things.
Enzymes and electrolytes.
Because we're in a functionally, but it centers around the same thing though, right? So the reason why people need the GLP is because they're not getting enough fiber. One of the main reasons people are dehydrated is because they're not getting enough fiber. Fiber is the nutrient that hydrates. This is why this is why I keep going back to photosynthesis. Everything is put together perfectly already. The water, natural carbohydrates are made out of units of carbon and a water molecule. That's wrapped up inside of pigment and fiber. So when you have a natural carbohydrate, you get that whole complex. The pharmaceutical companies have created this fitness industry, which teaches you that you want to be fit, stay away from those things. So now the drug industry has to compensate because your body is your body. Your body has to work the way it has to work. So because you're in a synthetic environment, synthetic diet, synthetic program, you have to get these synthetic band-aids. So if you don't have the fiber, not only, the GLP-1 and the microbiome and all of those things suffer, but also just your simple hydration levels because fiber is one of the main things that hydrate your body by slowing down water processing, forming gels with the water, hydrostatic proteins and all of these other different. It's a whole mix of biochemistry your body is missing out on without fiber.
Rob question mark said, "Damn, I must be dust. I can drink 20 coffees a day easy." What's going on in his body?
A lot of Viagra. He is not waking up with a salute at 7 a.m.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He said he worked nights too.
Ooh,
A wrap.
Now you throwing your circadian rhythm off.
It's a wrap. No. When he said 20 cups of coffee, I already knew his circadian rhythm. First of all, at 20 cups of coffee, you do not have a circadian rhythm. If you say, oh, he's throwing his circadian rhythm off, that's a no, he doesn't even have a circadian rhythm.
Man, I was trying to be nice.
They already
hard sell, man.
Listen, they already got that circadian rhythm, a nice high quality casket. They had Boys to Men come to the funeral. I thought we get to see forever. That circadian rhythm been laid to rest a long time ago.
He said,
if you get off nights at any point in time, you can reset it, regardless of what EnQi's saying. EnQi wants you to be.
No. You could definitely bring it back.
You gotta get off nights.
No, you could definitely bring it back. Listen, I used to work 12 midnight to 7 a.m. 7 days a week. So trust me, I absolutely understand what you're going through. You know what I'm saying?
Rob said, ain't nothing wrong with his morning wood, but
Rob trolling.
Rob
just trying to hold it down.
He said more time I'm bursting for the, is that low or look? He said he's fit and active and he rides a push bike to work as well.
I don't know what morning wood and bursting is doing in the same sentence, bro. That sounds just like it's getting crazy over there.
Rob, what is more time
don't
on bursting?
Dig in further. Like, let that go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a man, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Now
Rob is probably doing some really great things to offset the fact that he has to work nights.
He's British. Okay. Loo means toilet. So, but most times he's bursting into, he got to take a piss. Okay, got you. All right. Thanks,
Rob's
Lauren.
probably doing some really good things to offset the fact that he has to work nights. So, if he ever can get off the situation where he has to work nights, then his body will probably bounce back pretty quickly.
Tonight. What are you
Lauren
doing?
knows everything. She knows
man,
all the ways.
Hold on.
You can't be all doom and gloom, man. Like,
Tanei, what are you doing?
This man's circadian rhythm is crash. You can't, come on, man. You gotta give me
Tanei. No, sir. Listen, Tanei. 20 cups of coffee, he might as well do 10 lines of cocaine. What are we talking about?
Okay, the coffee, listen.
20 cups of coffee?
Notice I did not say anything about the coffee. He said he's fit. He
140 cups of coffee a week.
Listen, this man said he fit. He ride his bike to work. We already talked about last week.
Bro,
the active smokers are better than the non-active people. So hey.
No. But that activity is fake activity. That's not real activity. Do you know cocaine keep you? No. Listen, cocaine keep you hyped up. You be awake for 3-4 days straight. Like that's how crackheads be fixing 16 wheelers and all that.
Rob a crackhead. What's going on?
What do you think is happening with Rob at 20 cups of coffee a day, sir? That is absolutely. If he hasn't ascended to crackhead level yet, he is right there at Richard Pryor. Like, he is right at the cocaine. 20 cups of coffee is cocaine level.
Wait, because y'all said his dick don't work. Now he a crackhead. We got to clear this up. Rob said, I'm literally pulling a pallet of Valencia oranges that weigh just under a ton with one hand. And he smoked weed too.
You see, I told you.
All right, I'm finna shut up.
Rob, we love you, and I think that. Well, you know what? I can't even say he need a hug because he just started talking about bursting with morning woods and all that. I'm gonna just say you need a fist bump, Rob. You need some love. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get you off
Oh
them 20 cups of
man.
coffee because that is definitely equivalent to cocaine. That is equivalent. Matter of fact, hold. Hit the Google demons real quick. Hit the Google demons real quick.
Here we go.
Hit the Google demons real quick and see if the Google demons don't have an equivalency between 20 cups of coffee and cocaine. Let's see what the Google demons say.
Let's see. I might have to go
Google
out and go
demons
see
might save
Pablo
him.
tomorrow.
They might save him.
It's not possible to establish a meaningful equivalence between 20 cups of coffee and a dose of cocaine because they are fundamentally different drugs. While both are central nervous system stimulants, they have different chemical structures, mechanisms of action, and effects on the body and brain. A dose of 20 cups of coffee will likely cause severe, potentially lethal.
Hey, it ain't this, but it is this. That's exactly what it just said.
Go ahead. Look, the first three sentences sound like the Google demons were saving Rob. Keep on reading.
Rob, you might die, yo.
No, let's hear that. Go back and read that.
I said,
Potentially lethal dosage. What it say?
it said, while both essential nervous system stimulants, they have different chemical structures, mechanisms of action, and effects on the body and brain. A dose of 20 cups of coffee would likely cause severe, potentially lethal caffeine toxicity before it ever produce effects similar to cocaine.
I'm gonna just say that Rob is using hyperbole. He's just saying
What
20
is
is a large
Tanei
number.
doing? Tanei, Rob has already
I-
doubled and tripled down on his 20 cups of coffee. And even went as far as telling us he's pulling a ton of oranges, which I'm not even sure a human is pulling a ton of anything.
Rob is superhuman, man. He said he drinks coffee before he goes to bed.
All right. I think we should move on from Rob. Rob is clearly on his way to the emergency room right now or trolling. Rob is almost dead right now or trolling.
Rob got to deal with some unseen forces that we ain't familiar with, so we just got to let Rob do what he doing.
Yeah, that's right. Rob is working with Satan. One of Satan's minions. Rob is a demon.
Rob, what's going on where's your lady at? Where's your wife? Oh my God. When was the last time you talked to your kids? Rob, we need you to lay off the caffeine, man. We need you around, bro. White people are addicted to coffee. White people and coffee is like niggas and chicken. I remember I did this experiment once, right? Where I said, yo, we need to stop eating chicken. And I got attacked by Black Twitter. And then I observed white people and I realized white people love coffee. So I started looking up like bad shit that coffee does to you just to see how white people react. And they attacked the shit out of me for like 3 days straight. You will not.
That's what drug addicts do.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Cause it's deeper than that with white folks and coffee. And it's not even just white folks. It's anybody who has spent their time, you know, like coffee for them is a bigger thing.
It's a ritual.
It's a lifestyle. Like it's like that diabetes magazine I was talking about. It's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we got to this space where you go into a place and there's like 100 flavors of coffees and different types of espressos and triple lattes and like it's a universe, you know what I'm saying? And people, you know, they order these expensive 15, 20, 30, $40 coffees and rare coffees and imported coffees from other countries and fresh ground beans and you know, it gets green beans versus the brown, and it gets crazy, right? And then they work. They take their laptop. So a part of this is entrepreneur culture. You know, I take my laptop with me to the coffee spot, and you know, it's have my coffee and my cigar and, yeah, it's a whole, so people, you're insulting their life, not just educating them. You know what I'm saying? And
Emotional
that's where I
support
had to
coffee.
hire. No, because I had to get like a security detail for the first 2 months of KeMedicine episodes because I already make a lot of enemies on my own because it's the nature of the beast. When you're educating people about health, typically every show you're going to be insulting people's current lifestyle. When I came over to KeMedicine and combined that with ridiculing and trolling, you know how HJ likes to do it.
I got called a nigger while we were on the show. Just so you know, they responded to this episode calling me a nigger.
This episode,
yeah, just live about 9 minutes ago. Yeah.
Hey, listen, that used to be a term of endearment, not just amongst black folks, globally. Yeah, that's why nigga is in the Bible.
Nigga's in the Bible.
Nigga is in the Bible.
Nigga is not in the Bible, EnQi. Come on, now here you go with this hotep pseudo shit.
No. Nigga's definitely in the Bible.
Nigger is in the Bible.
Nigga is in the Bible.
Let me see. Let's see. The slur nigga is not in the original Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek text of the Bible. However, the Latin word Niger, which means black, appears in the New Testament, and some have mistaken connection between. Oh shit! They do got the word nigga in the Bible.
Okay, if you go to Acts 13:1, right? The word Acts 13:1, right? It's right there. And then what happens is whenever you bring this up to people, they go, "Oh yeah, but that's not nigger because that's 1G." So that's what that is that's Niger. That's they turn that G into a J. They're gonna make that into something. They go, "Oh yeah, that's Niger right there. That's not Niger. That's not Niger. That's nigger." Because when you go to like the Blue Book, which is the authority, when you go to the Blue Book of the Bible, because there's a Bible Blue Book or Blue Book Bible reference thing. That's like the main reference authority. It has a button that you could press for the audio, and it'll pronounce it for you, nigger. Yeah, it'll pronounce it for you, so you get the pronunciation. Boop, nigger.
So it says here,
nigger.
Now in the church at Antioch, there were prophets and teachers. Barnabas, Simeon called nigger. What is Simeon called nigger?
Because he was one of the goats.
Lucius of Cyrene, Syria, where Simeon called the black man. So nigga means black man in the Bible.
Come on now. Come on now.
Oh shit.
Come on now. I told you. We going back to Kemet. Let's come on now. Come along and ride on us.
Simeon. Another translation, Simeon, who was called nigger.
Yeah, come on now. I told you. Where I said the Dead Sea Scrolls come from, the Bible, everything. Kemet, let's go. What's the oldest copy of the Bible floating around on the internet now? Everybody want to talk about? Codex Sinaiticus. The Codex Sinaiticus. The Sinaiticus, Codex Sinaiticus.
Yo, look, some of them. Look at this one. God's Word translation takes Simeon out. They don't even mention Simeon.
Fact.
Fuck, they just took the whole God's Word translation just takes the whole black man out. This is crazy.
Oh, it gets even crazier. It can get crazier now. It can get crazier.
Simeon, surname the Black. Wow.
Yeah.
Write that one down, chat. Acts 13:1. Write that one down. We're gonna need to come back to that. We're gonna need to come back to that at some point.
It can get crazier.
Shout out to all my Simeons. Um,
Listen. Joseph was called Naga,
what?
Jesus' father. Jesus' father is called Naga. So you got nigga and you got Naga in the Bible. That's the word that's used for carpenter.
The demon said it ain't in there.
Yes, it is.
The demon said it ain't in there.
Type in Naggar, then put a comma and a space, and type in Tekton, tecton, and then type in Bible and see what happens.
Nagger Tecton Bible?
Yep. See what happens. That should give you some interesting. You should find
the words Nagger and Tecton describe the trade of Jesus and his early father Joseph as craftsman or builder.
Told you. I told you.
So they're saying Nagger means craftsman or carpenter.
Right. So they're saying
or scholar, Aramaic scholar or learned person.
Come on. And
craftsman, scholar.
There you go. Now you go from there and you find out why Simeon was called a nigger. Because Simeon is a upheld, is a teacher, a scholar. He wanted to, So he was considered one of them. That's why when you first asked, I was being facetious, but I was being serious at the same time. Simeon is a goat. He with Jesus and them.
Nagger Tecton distinction. Oh man. All right. Let's get back to the game. Y'all done went off. We all in the Bible again and shit like that. Niggas calling me nigger and
I'm just saying, they just that's why I said, they just calling you intelligent, they calling you a scholar out here in these streets.
This guy said, you're just a stupid nig. Hopefully someone gets you on a subway just like that poor girl so we can laugh at you.
Yeah, you got
what?
Man, for real. God damn.
That's crazy. Wait. Hold on. You see what I'm saying with HJ? See, something wrong with HJ. No.
It's a bot.
No. Something's wrong with HJ. It's not the bot or the person that left the comment. It's HJ is the problem, right? Think about this. Why did he pick out the N-word as the problem with that whole statement? Somebody said they wish that he got stabbed and killed, and the only thing that he felt insulted of was the N-word.
No, that was a different one.
All tonight?
Yeah, that was a different one.
Multiple threads.
These are multiple.
I thought this is one.
No.
So wait, so this person said you're a stupid N-word. You should get stabbed and killed on the train like the white lady?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's probably somebody in Pakistan with a bot account though.
Or somebody that's stalking you.
It's the TRT dudes. It's definitely a bot. It's definitely a bot account. I didn't trigger the bots.
Why are you saying it's a bot account?
It's like 80-90% of the traffic on X is bots.
Right.
No, but that's highly specific. That's not a bot account. That's literally the subject we're talking about.
Hey, the AI, the demons have evolved.
Tanei, can you tell him, please?
They can do stuff like that. So I mean, you be sitting there thinking you having a whole conversation with somebody the whole time it's a bot.
I agree with that, but I totally disagree that that's a bot. Unless you're saying that somebody programmed a bot onto you, like they sick the bot on you, like
yeah,
that's why Pusha T, then the whole salamander thing came out. Like nobody's forming that sentence on their own. Talking about Pusha T and salamanders, like that's bots.
Wait, what? What just happened?
You remember that the whole Pusha T Drake beef, and then there was all kinds of stuff about Pusha T violating salamanders on X for a while, and it was just all these different accounts.
No.
Yeah, so that happened.
Now wait. What I do remember, because see, this is what people be trying to like, people be having short memories. Now, people be talking crazy about Drake, but I have not seen Drake wearing a dress. Pusha T has been wearing some very, very questionable outfits on the internet there.
Drake just did blackface. Literally and figuratively.
All right.
Okay, next question.
Next question. I tried it.
I'm trying to help you before you chop your hands off again. Next question.
Yeah.
Oh, this is crazy. Let me see this account really fast. This account is... So they program these accounts based upon like keywords, what's trending. So yeah, these accounts are real easy to... these things are easy to program.
I still don't think that the N-word is the bigger problem, though. The threaten to stab you on the train like a white lady is way more problematic than the N-word.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, here's a good one. Fermented foods and bone broth will do more for your gut health than a Tums or another acid reflux medication that are simply Band-Aid solutions.
Not even worth responding to. I mean, it's just a statement of fact. This is an absolute fact, but it's like, what are we saying? Like, nutrients are better for you than toxins? Like, what are we saying? Like, true or false? Nutrients are better for you than toxins. Like, what are we doing?
So
I'll say true. I do also want to say what are you trying to treat? If you're trying to treat acid reflux, I mean, Tums is just a base, so I mean you can treat it very quickly. But is it just overall gut health? Because Tums is really just for acid reflux. That's just a part of your gastrointestinal, how your gastrointestinal system is working. So I don't think that that's a really.
Man, people be popping them Tums like breath mints now. That's the
no, they do. They do. Yeah, no, they do. It's kind of crazy.
So the bone broth is good for acid reflux?
It's good for your immunity too. The glycosaminoglycans are really good for activating your immune system too. So
you take like a cow bone and just soak that bad boy?
Chicken bone, turkey bone.
Because there's stuff inside the bone.
Mm-hmm. In the marrow. Yeah.
I am not co-signing this cannibal behavior.
I don't take bone broth, but I mean, I know that that's what people are doing. That's what people are using.
Slippery slope. I just want to always.
I want some bone broth.
Just know that black people have more dense bones than everybody else. So we drive this idea home that bone broth is the most nutritious thing ever. Just black folks start disappearing. Just know you might have contributed by, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna be watching this stream thinking, man, Tanei look juicy.
Nigga broth.
Just saying.
Nigga bone broth. Damn. That's crazy.
It's what they used to do. That's why I never let the Arabs off the hook. Because Arabs created the cannibal market and ate all of your ancestors.
The who did what?
Arabs ate all of your ancestors. That's why there are no mummies from Kemet anymore. They're all eaten by the Arabs. And then they start selling them to Europe. And this was going on for 1,000 years.
They was eating mummies?
Eating mummies.
Wasn't there a story about there was like a tomb and there was an archaeologist that went in there and there was this black water that was in there and the archaeologist drank the water and got this real weird disease. I was like, why the fuck you drink?
Wait, hold on. Go back to the Google demons.
This mummy water tastes good.
Go back to the Google demons and look up cannibal medicine. And see what pop up.
Cannibal medicine. Historically, medical cannibalism was a practice in which human remains were used as treatment for various ailments, most famously practiced in early modern Europe. How are you gonna be early modern Europe? This
Now what
form
they
of
do is look, they leave out the Arab folks. They leave out the Arab folks. The Arab folks were the ones selling. They initiated it, and then they began the trade by selling them to the Europeans. So this all comes from
well,
the
they do
Muslims,
mention it.
pretty
They
much.
do got one piece in here. They say early Arabic texts describe the medicinal use of bitumen, which was mistranslated and eventually conflated with embalmed mummies, initiating a lucrative trade.
Mm-hmm.
But it says here, corpse medicine
There you go.
involved ingesting or applying substances derived from human bodies.
Yeah, they
What?
ate the mummies.
Often based on false beliefs about their curative properties.
Yeah, they ate all the mummies, man. The Arabs and the Europeans. But I don't blame the white folks. I blame the Muslims.
The Arabs.
I blame the Muslims. That's why people like, hey, how you feel about the Muslims and the war with the woo woo woo? I'm like, listen, what goes around comes around, and just, hey, what about my great 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 granddaddy that one of them, was seasoning up and like, come on, man, what are we talking about?
This is bigger than Nino Brown.
This is bigger than Nino Brown. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
That's why we got to send more aid to Israel.
Like, hey, what about those children? I'm like, what about our grandparents?
Big facts. That's how I feel about the situation. Next one. Commit to water first thing in the morning and for the first hour of your day before taking that first sip of coffee.
True.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Took y'all a little long on that one. Why was there some trepidation there?
But you know what? For me, it was trepidation because I was trying to figure out, like, why is there a first sip of coffee? Like, in
It
like
be other
first
stuff
sip of-
in the questions that you just have to think.
Yeah,
why is it here?
like there's this assumption that there's a first sip of coffee. Like, why is there a first sip of, like, why first sip of coffee? Like, so there's coffee throughout the day in my program? Like, like this, why not just no coffee? Like, why are we, like,
Because white people need coffee. White people cannot function without coffee, yo.
I beg to differ.
I'm trying. I'm gonna go on my channel right now and type in "coffee is bad for you," and white people are addicted to it. They're watching.
I think
Like
as
1,000 followers, like
I think as a group, you know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Black folks cannot live without fried chicken.
Yes.
And but when we get into specific examples, I think we're perfectly fine without fried chicken.
Okay, but white people need coffee
As a group.
as
But
a
when we
group.
get into specifics, I think
As a
white
group.
folks are fine without
As a group, white people need coffee. They will die without coffee. They will die without steak.
They will definitely die without steak. Now, I saved a white lady before with some steak. This is back in the days. This is maybe early 2000s. She was like, she had been not a customer of Sabi's, but she was working through some of the people that was working for Sabi, like maybe some of the people in Brooklyn or down in Florida somewhere or something. And she was like, she'd been using the products for a long time, and she was describing symptoms. And, she was saying that the herbs had so many different benefits for her and all this other stuff. And she was just, she couldn't deal with, and I was like, you know what? I think it's your creatine, get your creatine levels. Maybe you should try some creatine. And she's like, no, I don't want to do the supplement because, I started this journey off avoiding white stuff, white rice, white powder. I mean, white rice, white bread, white milk. So I don't want to have any. I was like, well, then you might just want to have you a little bit of steak, once a week. She was like, what? Dr. EnQi? No, this is Minister EnQi. Are you promoting Dr. Sebi's program and saying I should mix it with meat? I was like, well, I ain't gonna tell nobody if you don't tell nobody. You know, what's your ancestry? She was like, well, German and Irish. I was like, yeah, you might need you to
Might need that
just
steak, man. Yeah.
might need a little piece of meat in it. She hit me up like 2 weeks later, like, oh my God, I've never felt better. Over the years, I've collected experiences like that where it now led me to the space where I'm at, where I'm like, pigment and fiber. Pigment and fiber. There's people that can go vegan and be absolutely amazingly healthy. There's people that can go vegan and they in trouble. There's people that can eat, meat diets and be incredibly healthy. And there's people that can eat all meat diets and be in trouble. And the one thing that is consistent among all diets is pigment and fiber. Period. That's the most important thing.
So if
That's
you
the
if you
most
if you
important.
if you are high pigment, you need a high pigment diet. If you are low pigment, you need a low pigment diet.
No, if you are alive, if you are alive, if you are high oxygen, if you are an oxygenated being, you know well, I'm a carbon-based being. If you're an oxygen-based being, you need pigment and fiber.
So what's coming out of is pigment in the steak?
There is no well,
Is there fiber in
yes,
that steak?
there's no fiber in the steak.
So what
But
the
I
fuck
guess
is
you
in the
could
steak?
stretch. Well,
Just
the steak,
creatine?
creatine and some, yeah. I mean, there's some vitamins and stuff you can get other places, and she was already getting from fruits and veggies and all other stuff she was eating. But the creatine, creatine is a devil.
What?
Creatine, if you don't understand it, like I'm a fan of creatine. I promote creatine. I got a book on the glymphatic system where one chapter features like it's so. I'm a fan. But here's the thing: when I say a devil, a lot of people not understanding creatine have tried to change their diet, and because of the drop in creatine, have turned back their diet. So they'll go, all right, I'm gonna try to eat a plant-based diet, or I'm gonna try to eat a more plant-based diet, or I'm gonna try to go a week with no meat, or a month, or whatever the case may be. And after about 3, 4 days, anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, they start to notice this insane drop in their energy, especially people that aren't exercising. If you exercise forces mitochondrial biogenesis. So you get more mitochondria faster. Um, but if you don't exercise and you just one of the people that's just trying to, get a better diet, healthier, healthy, it's going to be a mean drop off because every piece of meat that you eat typically has some content of creatine in it. So there's a large portion of creatine that you're getting from your diet. And when you drop the meat out of it, cold turkey like that, boop, the creatine disappears. And now it's like the spark plugs fall out of your engine. And so, if you don't know that, then immediately anything that follows that, you will blame the vegetables and the fruits and the vegetable, the vegan diet. And then you go onto the internet and you got a whole bunch of more people that don't know what they're talking about, but they got stuff to sell you. They're going to use that to sell you. So all of the keto people and the meat people going to be like, yeah, see you, that's low energy because you can't, yeah. And yeah, that's why you got to switch back to this and get on some of these eggs right here. See what you got to do is you got to take these. Really, it's just a creatine issue. So you could have got you a little powder at the supermarket or on Amazon. You could have got you some creatine capsules, or you could have made up for it by just having you some beets and got you an extra little bit of nitric oxide, and that would have helped stimulate, or some calisthenics. There's a wide variety of ways to cover that energy gap by cutting the meat out. But yeah, that's a big goblin in the when people don't understand what's happening with they don't understand the energy production. Phosphocreatine is at the base of carbohydrate and fat energy systems. So most times we think Krebs cycle, we think beta oxidation, but the phosphocreatine system is the main facilitator for like quick turnaround, to get up, to go ahead, like all of that stuff is phosphocreatine. So you feel real sluggish and like, weird without that when your creatine levels drop by like 40, 50, 60% overnight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Creatine is definitely important. And then your cognitive function, your brain gets foggy and all that. So yeah.
So a little bit of meat does the body good.
A little bit of creatine does the body good. I want to make sure we're hyper specific there, because pretty soon we back to bone broth again. That's
So is steak the only place you can get creatine from?
pretty much all your meat, all your flesh.
All the fleshes.
Yeah, pretty much, because creatine is in your muscles.
Oh, so anytime you eat the muscle.
Which is what people eat mostly when you get meat.
Yes, mostly meat. So.
Yeah, that thigh. Chicken thigh, yeah. Okay.
What does he talk? What are you doing, HJ? What HJ gets hyper personal every time. We went off into a Krispy Kreme moment. I said meat. He go, yeah, that fried chicken thigh. Like that is highly specific there, sir.
I had flashback to the last chicken thigh I had from KFC.
I think all black folks have flashbacks of their mom in the kitchen with the batter and the seasoning and the flour, seasoning up the flour, getting that thing ready. And now all you need to do is just go ahead and put that cauliflower. You can make that same flour with the seasoning and put that cauliflower in there instead of the chicken. Ooh.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, you can put the mushrooms in there.
No, sir.
Mushrooms and cauliflower, and it'll be, yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I need flour.
I said flour.
Yeah, that's the
You don't
wrong
change
kind of
the
flour.
batter. The batter's the same. The only thing you do is swap out the chicken for the cauliflower.
Wait, what? No chicken.
Yeah, take the chicken out of the chicken.
You over here making vegan fried foods?
Vegan fried chicken. Yes,
no,
sir.
thank you. No, thank you. I'm gonna just eat the chicken. I need my creatine. We not doing no fried. No. I'm a juice on Monday and get my smoothie in. I sometimes I have a smoothie at night before bed.
How many push-ups you did over there the other when you showed us on the live stream? What you did, about 47 push-ups? 40? How many push-ups you did that day?
49.
Nobody that could do over 30 push-ups in one set has to worry about creatine in their chicken. Typically, the people who can't do 10 or 15 push-ups in that pocket, those are the people who are going to primarily notice the phosphocreatine issues when they change their diet. The people who have stronger muscle, because your muscle development has a direct correlation to mitochondria. Your mitochondria definitely have an impact on how many mitochondria, how active your mitochondria are. That definitely has an impact on how, you changing your creatine intake will affect you. So if you're in pretty good shape.
So I can eat as much chicken as I want.
That is absolutely not what I'm saying. Is that Is that what I said? See, that's another one of those moments, right? Yeah, you need to get stabbed on a train like the white lady. HJ, like, did he call me a nigger? Call me a nigger? You need to break this down. Did he call me a nigger? No, he said he wants to kill you in the nighttime. Is what he's saying.
But then he called me a nigga though. That's the differentiator, because that means it's not a crime, it's a hate crime.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You get more time for a hate crime.
Put that statute on it.
That statute on it.
Yeah, that's that economic HJ right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Hotep,
Now,
you're
hold
a
on.
genius.
See, that's that poverty
HotepJesus.com.
thinking you got going on. I'm with a protected class of yeah, I'm with a protected class of people.
Real talk. You gotta use every advantage.
I'm gonna need restitution.
All right, this one's a good one. This question's a good one. You ready? Winter is coming, and your ability to get adequate vitamin D from the sun alone will be a challenge without supplementation.
Where's the rest of the statement?
What you mean? That's the whole thing.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that just sounds like advice. That doesn't even sound like a good, true, or false. That's just, yeah, okay.
Why you making that face, Tanei?
Context specific. Where do you live?
That's
Jersey.
true.
Jersey. I live in Jersey.
Well, you're in trouble. Then you need to get on to the website. We got some vegan vitamin D3 for you. We got some vegan D3 for you.
Wait, where'd I go? Where'd I go? American Healer dot
website.
virus. What'd you say it was?
Yeah, the site that look like it's going to steal your information. Yeah.
Dot website, sir.
Every time I type your website in, that should say warning. Would you like to proceed? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, we gotta get your site right. We gotta sit down and have a digital marketing meeting. Which one do I get? Which one is vitamin D?
Vitamin D is vitamin D.
Yeah, well, so if I just type in vitamin D on your site, I'm good?
It should pop up.
Oh, there it is. Vitamin D, 5,000 IU. You selling needles too?
No, I ain't got no needles. What?
This look like one of them vials.
That's international units, sir.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the amount.
Oh.
But that's from a type of moss.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we got that. What else we got in here? Okay, that's all the vitamin D. All right, I see you. All right, so I get some of that, and I'm good for the winter.
Yeah, I don't know how many bottles you got, but yeah, sure, that's the ticket.
It says 50 capsules. How long is that gonna last me? I take one a day or something.
Probably last you about 3-4 days, a week or so.
50 capsules gonna last me how long?
EnQi trolling, don't
No, that I don't know about the winter. You might need 2 or 3 of them over the winter.
2 or 3 of those?
Yeah, you might need 2 or 3 of those for the winter.
All right, I'm gonna cop that. Let me drop y'all the link in the chat. You know what I'm saying? If Google just sends you a warning, just go ahead and proceed. It'll be all right. It promises no virus over there.
Necessary roughness on the defense.
Promises no virus. Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to skate through the winter with 2 or 3 bottles of that.
See, I literally copy and pasted your link, put it in my chat, and Kick said, "Nah, nigga, don't let nobody click that shit."
Kick be trolling. That's why Drake was arguing with the owner of Kick. Aiden Ross and you know they gambling. They gamblers.
Okay, here we go. A high protein diet slows down digestion, which helps manage sugar levels, improves satiation, and burns up to an extra 25% of its calories through the thermic effect of food.
That's a fact.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Any context we want to add there?
It doesn't burn up to 30% of the sugar's calories.
Dude, that
But
bird was coming there.
yeah. I mean, I let the burn ride because we know what they're trying to say, but that thermic effect only applies to protein.
Hmm.
That doesn't apply to other things. So, say for instance, if you eat a meal, and in your meal you have 500 calories of chicken or steak, and you have another 500 calories of macaroni or rice or whatever. The 25% or the 30% of extra quote unquote, burn that you get from the protein, the animal protein, that only applies to the animal protein. It doesn't apply to your entire meal. So don't think like, I'm gonna eat this 1,000 calories, but it's really only 700 calories because, like, no, that only applied to the chicken.
Speaking of chicken,
Back
next
to that
one.
fried thigh again. Huh?
I need that fried thigh ASAP. Poor soil quality results in a lack of magnesium in most diets, impacting sleep, recovery, mental health, and they would benefit from supplementation.
True.
I'm gonna say false.
Okay, you guys just went opposite directions on that.
I'm gonna say false. Because it was true right up until you said magnesium. I thought you was gonna say the word mineral or something else.
Nitrogen.
There you go. Nitrogen's in the soil. But magnesium is in the plant. So if you got the pigment, if you got chlorophyll and you got magnesium, anything that's green has a high concentration of magnesium. That's literally like you can't make chlorophyll without magnesium. So that's, yeah.
Tanei.
So there are studies that do show that the soil quality being low does mean that the plants will have less of those minerals available, and they start to produce
No,
different
I agree.
products.
Look, that's why I said, no, listen. That's why I said, if he said the word minerals, I would have agreed. But
So,
since
but
he
magnesium is the
specified
big one,
magnesium, I got to tap out.
but the magnesium is a big one though. So, like, I get where the context is coming from, especially with like magnesium being one of the things that a lot of people are deficient in, and one of the things that is not as repleted in soil now, especially because of the crop practices. A lot of times the crop rotation practices that we used to use would put the minerals back into the soil, the composting and stuff like that, but we don't do organic composting like that anymore. We don't rotate crops like that anymore. So that plus the pesticides, and so I'll say this too. One of the major things about the minerals that you're not getting, and with magnesium too, is the pesticides, especially with glyphosate. So glyphosate is a mineral chelator. So it will stop your body from being able to absorb the minerals that are there, and it will also chelate to the minerals that are in the soil, preventing the plants from being able to uptake it and use it in the same way. So there's a study that came out. I don't remember when it was.
And
I remember
that's,
reading it about 10 years ago.
wait,
So
the
what ended up
glyphosate.
happening was, hold on, let me finish, So what happened was they tested the soil quality in the area, and they saw that the soil quality had gone down. And essentially what happened was, I think it was with bananas, that the bananas actually started producing more simple sugars versus producing more starch and fiber. So when you change the mineral content of the plant, the products that they produce also changes. And so it doesn't turn the plants into like strict junk food, but that's the argument that they were trying to make, is that it was making more simple sugars and making less fiber. So it's making the fruits and the vegetables less nutritious because the mineral content is off. But magnesium was one of the big minerals that was missing.
Wow.
I think it was 1927, the International Congress of Soil Science in DC.
When the medical school was created?
No, you trolling. No.
This
The
is after the...
conversation about the yeah. Well, see, here's why I still disagree, right? And even though I agree, I disagree. Because I have to put the emphasis again back to the same problem, right? And the problem is carnivore, paleo, keto, right? So we got carnivore, paleo, keto. What's the other guy that had the high protein thing? Atkins. We got Atkins. Yeah, we got Atkins, keto, carnivore, paleo.
Weight
right?
Watchers.
Well, Weight Watch is different, but these are all guys that promote strictly meat or strictly fat, right? Where there's no fiber, where carbohydrates is ostracized, right? So a lot of people are not magnesium deficient because of the soil. Most people are magnesium deficient because they don't eat enough greens. They're not having the plant content. Now, in the soil, I would think that more pressing issues would be, selenium, and there's a host of other minerals.
Right, because this guy says the poor soil quality results in a lack of magnesium in most diets. And what you're saying, well, most diets don't even got enough plant food in them. That's why you have a lack of
Correct. So
magnesium.
there's no, right. They're not even eating magnesium containing foods that could be deficient or not deficient. They don't have those foods in there anyway. So like most of the people in America, let's say for instance, Trump was to dump 1 billion tons of magnesium that's, all of a sudden into the food or whatever the case may be. Keto, paleo, carnivore people would not benefit from that at all. Because they're not eating they're not eating those foods that would carry those things into their body anyway. Right? And that's the fitness people. That's not talking about the people that are doing mashed potatoes with, cornbread and fried chicken. Because there's no magnesium in that either. So you have large groups of people whose diet just does not contain the greens.
And what do you need magnesium for?
Everything.
Yeah, there's what the better question is, what don't you need magnesium
Facts.
for?
Magnesium. No, you literally need it for every function of your body. There's no function in your body that does not require magnesium, because outside of, I think, what is it, 2,000 enzymes or some old crazy number.
300.
Yeah, it's some crazy numbers.
Processes,
Yeah, it's some crazy numbers. But if we got rid of all of those technical things, you need magnesium for your body to use ATP. And so because you need energy for your body to do every single thing, and because you need magnesium to process that energy, literally it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look up in certain textbooks, they don't even have ATP separate. They call it mag ATP as one molecule. You know what I'm saying? Because you need the magnesium attached to the ATP. So you have to have, but again, if we go back to photosynthesis, it's chlorophyll that's creating the carbohydrate. So it makes sense that magnesium is required to break it down, because magnesium is required to create it. Magnesium is required for photosynthesis. You don't have chlorophyll without magnesium. You don't have photosynthesis without chlorophyll.
I'm looking at this, and I I get a lot of magnesium. I got the bananas. I got the avocados. I got the kale. I'm good on. And I got
Photosynthesis. Look, if you in the photosynthesis space, you good.
wow.
I will say if I think if you're eating a mostly, if you're getting a good bit of plants in your diet, if you're hitting that 40, 50 gram range of fiber a day from whole food sources, not from like Metamucil and shit like that, you're probably getting magnesium.
You good.
Wow.
But if you go Atkins, if you go paleo,
the other thing too that depletes magnesium in those diets. So the two biggest offenders of magnesium depletion are alcohol and sugar, because glycolysis requires magnesium as a cofactor to be able to break the glucose units down, and alcohol is a magnesium diuretic.
facts. That's one of the main parts of a hangover is magnesium depletion. That's a big fact.
Wow. Diamond DJ said that's why I take magnesium. So he decides to just take the magnesium. He just
Yeah, I mean, I take it too. I mean, because there's no downside in taking it.
Yeah, he said he
I
just
agree.
He just takes his.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can get enough magnesium.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you get enough.
He says because he be drinking alcohol. My nigga.
You definitely should be taking it there, yeah. Or if you like sweets, like if you like, the Rice Krispie treats, you definitely need to, get you some magnesium.
Or if you should happen to pass that 18th, 19th cup of coffee,
definitely want some magnesium there. Yeah.
Rob.
You can even put it in the coffee if you want to. You want to go.
Rob, you got to start shooting up magnesium to catch up, man.
Yeah. He said you need to just put it into the coffee. Just drop it into the coffee.
Just shoot up the coffee with the magnesium. Just shoot it right in your veins, man. Like the TRT people. Fuck it.
They're gonna be on your bucket forever.
Here's an interesting one.
I did want to ask. There was somebody that said that they were sending Apex off to a lab to get tested. Did you ever hear anything else about that?
No, them niggas ain't doing that. They not.
You know how Dave Chappelle has made a career off of trolling the trans community?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's you.
Yeah.
Trolling TRT people.
I mean, they're scum of the earth.
Oh, wow. That was crazy and unexpected.
They're scum.
Oh, man.
They were scummy scammers.
That is crazy.
Because they get up there and they go, oh, you can look like me. Just buy my workout routine.
Hold on.
And then you buy the workout routine, you like, I'm not looking like you. Oh, that's because you ain't got this secret information. I got this needle in the back. You could just shoot this in your ass. Now your balls gonna shrink. But don't worry about your balls shrinking. And you might not be able to have kids, but don't worry about that because you got kids already. See, so you're good. You can just bust a nut in your wife if you can bust a nut.
And your tumor and cancer risk does shoot up through the roof.
You might get bitch tits, but don't worry about that. We got another shot for that, and then a shot for that, and then you want a 6-pack, right? We got this Serena Williams jump off. You just shoot that right in your gut. Before you know it, you look like a pincushion.
It is wow.
So they are scum of the earth for putting people through that. They're literally like, what do you call, gateway drugs to big pharma. So now people just get used to just taking needles or everything.
But no. I wouldn't even say gateway because they are big pharma. That's the thing. That is big pharma. That is literally thousands of dollars. Like that is, and it's genius. Let me say that. It is genius for big pharma to have created this situation. Like this is crazy where the quote unquote society is divided in two. You got the obese, sick people, and then you got the muscly, healthy people.
Mm-hmm.
The muscly, healthy people is all on surgeries and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
The obese sick people is all on surgeries and drugs.
Exactly.
Yo,
Exactly.
that is amazing. That's why America is the sickest country on earth, literally. Because everybody is on surgeries and drugs, and everybody is brainwashed to believe that you can be healthy while dependent on drugs. I'm like, I had to create my own definition of healthiness. I was like, wait, okay, Google's not working. Okay, so here's healthy. Healthy means every organ, gland, tissue, and system in your body is working as it was naturally supposed to without any help, just functioning all by itself. The moment you introduce some other thing, then you're not healthy. So you cannot be healthy on hormones. You cannot be healthy on insulin. You cannot be healthy on blood pressure this or just a little blood thinner. Like there's no such a thing as that. You're not healthy, and you should continue to aspire to study, work, and modify your lifestyle to try to get healthy. That's the real key, is breaking people's spirit. That's the real key, breaking people's spirit or tricking them into believing that you somehow are healthy and you're good. We got you. Don't worry. Just you take 2 of these.
Rob said he don't do
Oh my
sugar,
goodness, Rob is back.
fizzy soda, red wine, or Magnum if he drinks
Rob, I
alcohol.
apologize.
What is
Rob,
Magnum? What is Magnum? He doesn't
Rob,
do.
I
He
apologize.
said he's from the UK, right? I think those like little chocolate bars.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I apologize, Rob. We got. I said at the beginning of this show that I hadn't got that much sleep. No, serious, and it makes me a little delirious. You know what I'm saying? It makes me a little delirious. And the gremlins got me, and I got a little carried away.
And you wish death on him.
No. That was actually the Google demons. No. That was actually the Google demons.
You said his dick didn't work.
Joe Clark from Lean on Me. You smoke crack, don't you, boy? You smoke crack.
You said his dick didn't work too.
That might have been. But listen, Google definitely verified that 20 cups of coffee is a toxic, super day. So yeah, I might have put a little bit too much sazon.
Rob got a different microbiome set up.
No, Rob doesn't have a microbiome. Rob is Count Dracula. Rob does not have blood in his veins. Rob has ammonia in his veins. That's what Rob is working on.
He said he got 3 baby mamas and he did a bid.
Hey, well, you free now, Rob, so you want to let that coffee go. You free. Give us also free.
I got the next one. It says, fruits and vegetables now carry significantly less minerals due to declining soil quality.
True.
Wait a minute. Did we just address that?
No.
Okay.
We talked about magnesium.
Okay. Well,
which was related. You agree with that?
But it's not a now thing. This has been going on since Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, it starts with Abraham Lincoln,
first black president. I'm just stating fact. You know what I'm saying? Argue with J.A. Rogers.
Okay, but if we jump into that rabbit hole, right? That's not actually true. So there's a point we go, that's not true at all. But there's if we're gonna go into that universe, then there's the 5 other black presidents before that. It gets.
That's true.
So we're gonna close that universe off because it's already 11:15 EST. So we're gonna just close that door. We'll lock it, and then we'll come back to it at a different time.
Okay. So go on to the Google demons.
There we go.
and pull up a thing called Dust Bowls. No, because this is a hidden part of history.
Oh man.
This is a hidden part of history.
This
and
is
I try
Doe.
to
This
share
is Doe's favorite subject.
I try to share this with everybody because this is how we got to this point with the food.
Dust Bowls. The Dust Bowls, an ecological and economic disaster in the Great Plains region of the United States and Canada during the 1930s, caused by a combination of severe
No. They didn't start in the 1930s. They started in the 1880s.
Mm-hmm. It started a lot earlier.
And they got worse and worse and worse to the point where by 1930 they was wiping out whole towns.
Right.
And they played a silent role in contributing to the Great Depression because America couldn't feed itself because the farms was being wiped out. But it starts with the slaves, quote unquote, walking off the farms, off the plantations. And nobody knew how to take care of the soil. Nobody knew how to take care of the ground. So some people say that the ancestors of the dead slaves came up and started killing white folks.
Late Lanier style.
Then there's the scientific version where the soil began to erode, and whatever the case may be, you do have the craziest, most scary weather patterns ever known.
Well, here's what it says. It says in the early 20th century, farmers plowed up to millions of acres of native grassland to plant
Can you
wheat.
show some of those pictures?
I did.
What a dust bowl looks like.
Yeah, we did. I showed it to him. Yeah.
That is the scariest thing ever.
Yeah,
like the ground literally coming up and smothering your whole city. Like that's crazy.
It's like a dirt tornado. Like if not worth dirt tsunami.
And so to combat that from happening, that's what starts the funding of synthetic chemicals in farming. That right there, the dust bowls. To combat that, they're trying to figure out how to get the soil habitable. And so now you get the fake fertilizers and all of those things. And the first plants and crops that start to grow, they're dying very fast and they don't have the ability to last long and all of this kind of stuff. And so now you got to come with a fake immune system for these plants because the soil is synthetically fertilized, so the plants growing out of it don't have immune systems. So now you need pesticides and all these other chemicals to go on the plant. So first you need the chemicals to go in the soil to make plants grow again. Then the plants that are growing aren't that strong, so now you need chemicals to go on the plant. So this process is the process of how the soil becomes demineralized. Not only demineralized, but the soil becomes over sanitized. And so you start to lose microbiome in the plants. And when you start to lose the microbiome in the plants, now you're not getting things like B12, which would have been in the soil, which would have been in the greens. It's not in the greens because the particular strains of bacteria aren't in the crops anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like when you had farm fresh crops, it was a little dirt on it. You know, you had bacteria and things from the soil that you consumed with the plants. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's a whole chain of events that stems from those dust bowl situations.
We just got another comment from somebody on X. They said, "Shut the fuck up, monkey."
Wow. And so you saying that's the bots?
Yeah, this one's a bot too. This one is Moon Man KKK.
I don't see how you are more upset by the people that are taking TRT than the people that are calling us monkeys and saying we stabbed at the nighttime on the subway track. I'm totally,
He said, "Shut the fuck up, monkey."
I'm totally confused.
These people are unhinged.
Here you go. People. These are people, not bots.
The nutrient density of quality red meats and eggs.
You know what it is? Hold, we gotta go back to that. You know what it is? You have too many followers on X.
What does that even mean?
That means that you have crossed over. You've crossed over. You have
He said,
social
"I want to
media.
kill some random monkey this week." Wow, now that is a death threat. That right there is definitely a death threat, y'all.
How is that a death threat and not stabbed up on the subway? This is what I'm saying with HJ. See, it's HJ is the thing. So you have crossed into all of these different markets. You have white folks that are from the mountains. You have black folks dialing in from federal penitentiary. You got the worst of Americans and the best of you got a large group of folks on X. See, I don't have that many folks. It's just, like if somebody make I have so few followers on YouTube that I know exactly who that
Somebody talking shit. Oh yeah, that's Red from
They can't even fake
Red
it.
from Fifth Ave. Yeah,
Listen,
let's get Red ass up out of
I
here.
probably got their address because they probably ordered something before. Like they can't even fake it. You have way too many people. It's just you got Canadian folks and
Diamond DJ said, "HJ, you need security." I got security. We've got an alarm system, an advanced alarm system, and I have a couple of other measures. You guys forget my dad was in the military, so like my house is like it's booby trapped. And I got a little kid, so you gonna step on the Lego before you even get to me.
They gonna put do more damage than anything else.
That Lego gonna fuck you up, nigga. I'm good, trust me. We Gucci over here. Not hardly worried. The nutrient density, this is gonna be an interesting one. The nutrient density of quality red meats and eggs is almost unmatched, and anyone telling you otherwise isn't interested in your health.
okay. So first of all, the nutrient density in eggs and red meat is not even the same. So I personally wouldn't even put eggs and red meat in the same category. Like that is wild. Like that is because red meat is a vast category of things that have different nutrient profiles. Eggs is top of the line in terms of nutrients. Eggs is a high quality food. Period. I can't hate on eggs. There's no hate on eggs. Eggs is top of the top.
Tanei?
The way these questions getting asked, I just
Yeah, some of these are coming from the people that want to kill monkeys or catch us on the late night on the subway.
like it's so much context that has to be added. Like I don't know, man.
No, I don't think so. I think this one doesn't. No. I think this is nice Tanai again. I think this is just somebody that hasn't completed. They don't really, and they trying to be like a little cute and a little sound smarter than they really. It's not. Red meat and eggs is not the same thing.
They're doing two different things. Like then
Yeah.
the quality of like the diet of the things. So are you talking about red meat that came from a cow that ate Skittles, or are you talking about meat from a cow that actually ate plants?
Let's say it's Wagyu beef.
All right,
Okay,
so
here's what I'm saying. Wait. The red meat universe is so crazy. Like, are we talking organ meat, or we talk like it's
yeah.
that's not a good. It's not the same. Red meat is not even in the. Let's say we strip this all the way down to
Wagyu ribeye, a Wagyu grass-fed organic ribeye.
Forget nutrients. Let's strip this all the way down to protein. Strip it all the way down to protein. There's no red meat that even gives you as complete a delivery as protein as eggs. And eggs is not as complete a protein as algae. So eggs above red meat, algae above eggs. There's no more nutrient dense food on this earth besides algae. Algae is the number one.
And
All
there's a
due
lot of
respect to
different
eggs.
algaes out there too that are, that are palatable. The
Yeah.
Asian culture's got, the seaweed algae game on lock. There's a lot of stuff out there that they make that you can easily implement into.
Yeah, they go crazy with the dose, the hijiki, the wakame. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot from them about algae. So, but that's what I'm saying. Eggs is official though. I'm not gonna
So
take nothing away
if I
from the
fry
egg
my
game.
eggs, my eggs is official.
If you fried your eggs,
Yeah, like scrambled.
I don't know. I just be so leery when you ask direct,
I'm
simple
just
questions.
saying,
I
like,
just don't.
you say
understand.
eggs is top of the line. Does that mean I eat the egg raw? Does that mean I boil it? Do I?
Hypothetically, because you asking me to suggest that you should eat eggs. So that's another. You know what I'm
You
saying?
said
Like
eggs was top of the line, and egg
I'm
comes. When I
saying
think
in
of
a
eggs,
hypothetical
I'm thinking of my
comparison.
fucking omelet.
I'm saying get you some algae. I also said algae was the best.
Fuck the algae. Ain't nobody
So
eating no goddamn algae.
So there we go.
We talking about eggs.
Here we go.
We talking about eggs.
Well,
What
if we talk
form
about
of eggs?
all forms of eggs.
So I could scramble my eggs and it's top notch.
Why don't you just put it in your smoothie?
A whole egg?
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah.
You on that Arnold? That's that Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger shit. Ain't that shit unhealthy? Ain't that how you get salmonellas?
Look, I don't know. I watched all of the Rocky movies. I told you to have some algae and put this blue magic. I told you to get some algae in your smoothie. You trying to force the egg thing. So I'm saying go ahead and
I'm gonna keep.
getting stronger.
So normally we like to point out at this point in the show that the Gremlins got full control of HJ, or the Gremlins got full control of EnQi tonight. EnQi is definitely in rare form. It's a nice little change of pace, but the Gremlins are definitely in full control over there.
Oh my goodness.
Thank God his ass. Oh man. I'm gonna stick to my scramble. I'm gonna stick to my omelets and just hope that's good for me. I'm gonna just tell myself the EnQi said this is top of the food chain right here.
I know it's better than red meat. I just, like eggs are definitely better than red meat.
I put avocado in my omelet too. Avocado and red onion. I know that's good.
It's a lot of cultures that's been hooking up the frittata for a long time. So,
The what?
Frittatas, like breakfast frittatas.
What's that?
That's what you just described.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So you can take vegetables and you take eggs, you pour the beet eggs over the vegetables and you bake it, and you can do whatever else after that.
For dinner too.
Frittata.
For dinner too.
Yeah.
Oh, they call that a frittata?
In the
a
morning.
baked omelet? Oh, I think I've seen that before, Glam. Oh, so you it's like a pie almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta try that one day. He said I call that quiche. Rob said he calls that quiche.
Some people call it quiche.
That's why I said for breakfast. For dinner, it's called, it's very similar, and then it's quiche.
So for dinner it's quiche, for breakfast is Nelly Furtado.
Something to that effect. Man.
Okay. Okay. All right. We in there. We locked in. All right. Cooking at home is good for your family, your budget, and your health.
Come on, HJ.
True.
Okay. If you're going to eat bread, make it sourdough, as it helps feed the good bacteria in your gut.
I'm a fan of sourdough, so
I'm gonna say true too, because I don't want to give up injera. So I'm gonna say true.
Yeah, I think that there's more to that, but sure.
What's the best bread? Unleavened bread, right?
The best bread is probably just to go with the algae. Just get the Blue Magic American Healer down website.
Oh.
Add the sea moss in.
If they want you to eat something and viciously attack the alternative, someone is likely making a lot of money off of it.
I agree. That is a fact. That's literally what I've been saying all night about the fitness people, the keto and the paleo.
Say that again, because that just didn't compute with my brain for a second. Like, let's run
If
that-
they
run
want
that
you
back.
to eat something and viciously attack the alternative, someone is likely making a lot of money off of it.
Off of the thing that they're telling you to eat.
Right.
Yes, true.
Okay. Your ancestors didn't
Yo,
eat
hold on. Even Drink Champs has a limit. How many of these questions did you download?
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the time like, yo, my contact's getting
'Cause
dry.
I feel like this is the KeMedicine.
What he does, dude? Like,
Yeah, I
got-
feel like this is the
like an
KeMedicine version of
interrogation.
Drink Champs. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Drink Champs.
I feel like
Big
Thug,
Daddy
we had a
Kane
lot
or
of jail.
Rakim?
We had a lot of jail calls. Mariah done pulled up a lot. Like this we've been chatting a lot.
Wu-Tang Clan or Outkast?
We got
Air or water? Which one is gonna be better for you?
we got 6 more left. 6 more left. Your ancestors didn't eat something new every night, but yet you're surprised you feel like shit without any nutritional routine.
That's a bar. I definitely go along with that.
Okay. You have 2 brains, and then one in your gut does more for the one between your ears than you think.
I disagree.
Damn.
You have more than. If we're using the collection of neurons as a brain, you have more than 2.
Yeah, that's the only thing I disagree with. Is the number of brains.
Yeah, but
Wait.
I do agree that.
So
the
how many
guy-
brains we got?
Well, we got a bunch of collections of neurons. You know what I'm saying? So your heart has a bunch of neurons. Your skin functions as a brain in and of itself, and
Your skin functions as a brain in and of itself.
Yeah.
Let me write that one down for next week. Skin brain. Sounds like some kind of freaky shit you do with your side chick. We're gonna talk about skin brains next week, y'all.
After you put the sexual context on it, I don't think you know what I'm saying? Like you just changed the whole dynamic. Yeah, we're gonna talk about skin brain next week.
It's like a horror movie.
Man, it's like they need protection. Wear a condom.
The experts in government health agencies will recommend 50 grams of protein per day. This will keep you alive, but isn't optimal living.
True. I wouldn't even say keep you alive. I think that's still deficient when you consider all of the different proteins that your body needs. So people only look at protein in this vacuum of building muscle, right? But like your connective tissue, your hair, like your joints, like it's like there's a lot of stuff that requires protein. So and EnQi apparently has a book for it that is holding
You
up
know, I'm gonna hold up a book because at this point it's like, hold up, we almost 4 hours and I have not sent anyone to Amazon. And this is that moment. If you do not have the protein composition book, go to Amazon and get the protein composition book so you can stop being fooled by people that are on steroids. Like this is the craziest part. You could just stroll down YouTube and you're gonna see all these muscle bound people on steroids talking about what I eat in a day. Yo, I had 200 grams of this. I had 100 grams of that. I had 500 grams of this. Bro, you had 100 cc's of that metrobolone shot in your backside.
That Anavar,
Man.
that Winstraw.
Woo!
So this
That
protein
horse.
book is going to teach us about protein?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In a way that's like mind blowing. Like you would never get any of this information from your guys doing 600 pull-ups upside down, or bench pressing. Larry Wheels and Simeon Panda have no idea. In fact, get one of these immediately to Larry Wheels and Simeon Panda. They need this.
Commanders versus Packers.
Packers.
Who are the Commanders?
The Washington Redskins.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go Washington Redskins.
Okay. Processed foods cause
No.
massive blood sugar spikes, and like drug addicts, this requires more and more insulin, leading to insulin resistance, inflammation, and eventually chronic disease.
And death. And somewhere along the line, your penis stopped working and you start drinking 20 cups of coffee a day.
Bro, just keep catching strays, man. God.
Rob, get low, bro. Get low, man.
You smoke crack, don't you, boy? Damn,
Oh
man.
my God. You really helped the show this week, Rob. I really appreciate you.
Poor Rob.
Rob is like that couple.
Tonight-
Rob is like that couple that sits in the front row at the comedy show. Like we really appreciate you, Rob.
The processed food comment, man, like it's like protein powder is processed. That's not spiking your blood sugar like that. So it's like what processed food are we talking about? Like what are we talking about?
Now that's a bar right there. That is true. That is true.
Like these questions, like I get where the questions are coming from, but like it's got to be more context.
The coconut water is processed.
That's what happens. No. That's what happens when you're a science teacher. See, these things, these are Pepsi right now. These are pet peeves that are bothering Tanei, that are building up. And he's bubbling his discipline and all that, Well, EnQi and HJ, sometimes you've got see that shit's running out every so often.
It's running out because my eyes getting dry. My God.
We got two more.
Out.
We got two more.
Yo.
A relationship with a local farmer/rancher can do more for your nutrition and health than your doctor.
I guess. I'm a co-sign to an extent.
I'm gonna lean on that just because of building the community. I think you just knowing the people in your community and having conversations with them. I think that's a net positive for your health overall, regardless of what you're exchanging.
Assuming that you got a halfway decent neighborhood farmer, because your neighborhood farmer could be. Come on,
Monsanto.
20 cups of coffee a day. And TRT. He could have started with the 20 cups of coffee a day and then added in the TRT, and it's just like, bruh, we got these chicken eggs, you know what I'm saying?
All right, last question. Here we go, folks. We finally made it. Here we go. Last question. Fruit juice spikes your blood sugar just like Coca-Cola.
True.
I'm going to go on the record and say, depending on what we're calling fruit juice, it might do your blood sugar worse than Coca-Cola.
Damn.
Yeah, it depends on what we're calling fruit juice, because there's some things that's just tap water mixed with high fructose corn syrup and artificial color
and a little bit of pigment.
Yeah. So that ain't, so yeah, that fruit juice business can get real crazy. That fruit juice business gets crazy. And then you think about it, a lot of times the people drinking those fruit juices are thirsty because they already had at least 15, 20 cups of coffee. And so they like, yo, I'm thirsty. Let me get something to drink. And they grab
man.
They grab that Minute Maid. You know what I'm saying?
Rob, get
Rob,
low.
I'm gonna apologize on behalf of my co-host. You've caught several strays tonight. We're gonna get you a bulletproof vest for next week because we don't want you in here looking like Swiss cheese. So keep doing your thing, stay strong.
We're gonna get Rob some decaf.
Well, another episode of KeMedicine in the books, y'all. Another episode in the books. Thank you to my co-hosts, Dr. EnQi, the naturopath, and Dr. Tanei Ricks, the university professor. Yes, sir. Thank you, fellas. I'll see y'all next week.
Now, wait a minute. One last question, though. Just a question for the guy that's looking to kill monkeys.
Okay.
That's a bot.
No, it's not. That's a
That's a bot.
That's a person. I just want to know if they did any reading on those DNA studies that showed that the Africans did not have the Neanderthal blood.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Did you just call white people monkeys?
No.
Oh.
I'm just trying to make sure we safe at night. That's all I'm saying.
W's in the chat if you enjoyed tonight's episode. W's in the chat if you enjoyed tonight's episode. W's in the chat if you enjoyed Dr. EnQi's demons tonight, his gremlins.
What?
Shout out to the fam. Shout out to the fam.
Well, I never.
It's that Gucci. Them Gucci demons got a hold of him tonight. Like he came on with the fresh fit. He had to show out for the camera. That's what that was.
Unnecessary roughness. Clearly, gremlins are contagious.
This man came in here looking like a GTA character. He knew he was gonna come in here and cut up.
Oh man, GTA 6 coming soon. GTA 6.
He gonna be a secret character.
Hey, listen, folks been waiting for GTA 6 for like 7 years.
And they got Christmas. They got it tonight.
And they got it tonight.
And you see you drinking coffee, you automatically get 5 stars. The police after you.
Said this thing got a grant though.
20 cups of coffee is wild.
What's the name of that store in the game chat? EnQi got his what's it called? Binko's, something like that. Oh, that's messed up. I need some magnesium. I'm getting a stomach cramp or something in my gut.
Really?
Really? I need some magnesium. Yeah, I got me laughing so hard, my stomach cramping up.
That's tonight. Tonight was in rare form tonight.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here as a humble co-host.
Bye. I'm out.
Rolling through the sand like a thought in disguise. The scarab spins truth where the cosmos collide.